attention! We're starting now! Go!
What is up, everybody? Welcome here to Pop Culture Philosophers. In particular, welcome here to Rockin Robbie Live. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. This is the show where we gather on Sunday nights to talk about comics, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more. We got a great show planned for you tonight. I hope everybody's had a great week. I hope you are at the tail end of a great weekend, and I hope you have a great week to come. But here for this show, we got some excitement to come. First of all, got to get this off my chest. No DC sneak peek tonight. Unfortunately, my lunar shipment was delayed this week at the shop, so we haven't gotten them yet, so I haven't read the DC books. Though I did read Superman issue number 29. I believe it's the latest part of Legion of Darkseid, and it's awesome. Superman, Superboy Prime against the Legion of Darkseid. Dan Mora, Josh Williamson. It's pretty solid. I liked it. So it's literally the only DC book I've read this week because Lunar had an advanced PDF. Anyway, that being said, we do have some DC treats tonight, including diving back into Hush. That's right. We've been doing Marvel in the 90s. We've been doing DC in the oddies. We went through the first 6 issues of Erik Larsen's Wolverine run from Marvel's in the 90s. And at the same time, we were going through Batman Hush by Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb, which kind of over the years, I've talked a lot of shit about. So I wanted to dive back in because they've been releasing these facsimiles. Y'all already know the story. Anyway, later on in the show, now that we're done with the first 6 issues of Wolverine by Erik Larsen and Jeff Matsuda, now we're diving back into Batman Hush on DC and the Odds. That's going to be coming up later on. A little bit of show and tell. Other than that, we're just going to be chatting, you and me. Let's talk. I pointed at me when I said you, and then there you go. Anyway, you should follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. And of course, you can follow me on X over at the Rockin Robbie. You can check out podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. Also, links to merch, all that stuff in the description below and at our website. All those cool links right there that you see. If you want to support the channel, you can do so with the super chat, which is always greatly appreciated, or by joining us over at patreon.com/PCP, which gets you the weekly comic book review in a downloadable audio format before it drops on YouTube, so you get early access to that in a downloadable podcast format for the weekly comic book review. Anyway, even though we got a little bit of a plan tonight, this show is driven, fueled if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, and your concerns. So get them in right now. What do you want to chat about? It's one of those Ask Us Anything type things here on PCP on Rockin Robbie Live, where we get to hang out and talk just mano y mano, or mano y womano. It's the wrong way to say that. Tomorrow night on PCP Movie Night, we are in the second week of HorrorFest. Here on PCP, we're going to be talking about The Hunger. It's Tony Scott's first movie. It's got Catherine Deneuve. It's got David Bowie. It's got Susan Sarandon. It is described as a stylish, sexy, erotic, vampire, sad thriller. Sure, let's call it that. But The Hunger, that's PCP Movie Night, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Time, continuing HorrorFest with Week 2. Dylan, for Week 2, is going to be talking about Wolf Creek, which I believe is one of the Two Gun Pedro picks for HorrorFest. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make it, but I don't know if his stream's going to be on Monday or Tuesday, but it's usually one of those days, sometimes on Sunday. I'm sure Two Gun knows. Two Gun, I see you out there in the chat. If you do know, let us know. But Wolf Creek on Dylan's Horror Show. Over at Blood Splatter Chatter, he continues HorrorFest with Week 2 of HorrorFest and Week whatever of his road to Halloween. He's been going through all the slashers, or I should say the proto-slashers, that led to what many consider the first true slasher, which is Halloween, though I would go a little bit behind that and say it is this film, Black Christmas. Super excited to have a Christmas movie be a part of HorrorFest, and of course, it's the greatest Christmas horror movie of all time. That's Thursday night over at Blood Splatter Chatter. But before that, on Wednesday night, here on the channel, I will be going live with the GHPR. We are the Greater Huntsville Paranormal Research. Something like that, right? Yeah, Greater Huntsville Paranormal Research. I've been working with these cats for the last year and a couple of months, if not more, a year and a half or so, and you've seen some of the teases here on this show, but I've been working with them on a paranormal investigation show, which drops next week. So before that, we're going to have me and a couple of the guys from the show debuting Signal and Noise here for a live chat. That's going to be on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. And get your teen dog shades ready, because it is a teen dog shades night. Let's go, y'all. That's going to be Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. We now pause for station identification. What do you want to talk about? Get that out there in the chat and get your stations out there. I want to see everybody be excellent to each other and party on, dudes. All right, y'all. How's it been for you out there? It's been an eventful week for me. It's been an interesting week. We'll say that. But I'm sure that will get addressed at some point tonight. But let's take a look at the chat. See who's in here. Once you get in the room, throw out a station. Maybe even a pop, pop, boom. Whatever the hell you want to. All right, first up, we got Jonathan from Comic Avalon. What is up? Let's go. Happy Sunday Fun Day. Happy Sunday Funny. What is this, the last Sunday before football? Y'all, I broke down. I went ahead and signed up for that ESPN app. Not because of the wrestling thing, even though I have recently gotten back into wrestling as of like last December or something. I've been pretty hardcore in it. Honestly, my enjoyment of wrestling has slowed up a little bit post-SummerSlam. Post-SummerSlam, I think there's been some interesting stuff, but for the most part, Raw's not been ultra captivating me, and neither has been some of the other things, but I'm still into it. I'm still watching Raw. I'm still watching clips from SmackDown. But, of course, the future wrestling PLE starting in September with the WrestlePalooza thing, right? Them being on ESPN, that works. But I have always said, if ESPN would just have all of their content all accessible for one fee with no cable, I would sign up. So I got to put my money where my mouth is. I signed up for the first month of ESPN Unlimited because football season's about to start. I love me some college football. I love me some Sports Center. I haven't had ESPN in my life for several months. It always causes me to be a bit unplugged from what's going on in the sports world usually when I don't have access to ESPN. I had ESPN for ages. By the way, if you do have cable, ESPN Unlimited is free. You just need to put in your cable service provider. But I don't have cable, right? I got internet, obviously, but I don't have cable. Because the only thing on cable I would want would be ESPN. And like Fox Sports too, right? So maybe they should get on it too. But they do a lot of stuff on their network. I can watch most of my Cowboys games with just an antenna, right? But anyway, so I've always wanted ESPN. Well, so I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm losing myself here within the avalanche of this conversation that I decided to have that nobody asked me to talk about. Jonathan just literally said, "Happy Sunday," and it got me rambling about ESPN Unlimited. I've only watched like 15 minutes of a Get Up so far. Anyway, I love ESPN, and I had access to it for years because a homie of mine had a homie who let me borrow his cable password so I could watch an Auburn game like one time because I needed to watch a HorrorFest movie and I needed to watch the Auburn game. I needed to do it at the same time with the way the schedule laid out. And so I needed to have access to some, whatever. I had this password worked for freaking years, y'all. It worked for years. And whatever service I wanted to sign up for, whether it was Adult Swim or whether it was the History Channel or whether it was ESPN or anything like that, this cable password worked for years. And I mean years, y'all. We're talking about like maybe 8 years or something. It worked. And then one day, I guess he changed his password or changed service providers. I don't know this cat. And it was gone. I was ESPN-less for a long time. But then I would do these things where I'd sign up for Sling for a little bit. But Sling's just so damn expensive. But $30 all of ESPN. Plus now I have access to the PLEs. That's pretty dope. I'm excited enough about it. We'll see what happens. Gotta fit that in the budget. What am I getting? I gotta get rid of some things. Maybe Shudder. I don't really utilize my Shudder very often because most of the stuff's on Shudder I already have, but I do like having Shudder and supporting it. I got Netflix. I got to keep that for Raw. And I've been watching Breaking Bad. I'll give you an update on that later on. Somebody remind me in the chat to give you an update on my Breaking Bad journey. And then what else do I got? I got Amazon Prime, but I keep that I got that because I order a lot from Amazon. So like the streaming service is just a second thought. So I don't want to get rid of that. What else do I got? I have Peacock right now, but I'm not paying for it, but I'm about to have to start paying for it because the guy who I'm mooching off of for Peacock is about to drop Peacock as of 2 days from now. Man, this world sucks sometimes, man. Can we not just get rid of all these streaming services and just have cable back, I guess, with DVR? It seemed like that was like the peak time. Do you remember that? Like early 2000s, you had Netflix by mail, you had Blockbuster still in existence, and you had cable TV with DVR. And a lot of great shows were just on cable. You know, whether if you were watching Sopranos or Deadwood, which I was Deadwood, I'm a Deadwood nut. You could just DVR it, and it was there, you know, and then you could watch it, and then if you could just catch up on other shows on Netflix because they just rented out physical media because physical media existed. Man, we didn't know how good we had it back then, did we? Yeah, we thought we'd have it better once everything was just a click away, but that's the lie they sell us. Everything is not just a click away. Thus, we here at PCP support physical media. That being said, most of the excitable PCP crew, I'm one of the only ones that collect physical media. Anyway, moving on. That's still a tenet. So there you go. What's up, Comic Avalon? How you doing? What's up, GT Comic? We at ODS in the house. How you doing? Eddie, Station Pop Pop Boom. Hope everyone had a great week. Matthew here with the station and a question. Hey, Robbie, do you know if Batman, Detective Comics, and Batman and Robin all share the same universe and timeline, or all of them canon? Simple answer, yes. They are all canon. They all take place in the same universe. They're all part of the same timeline. Everything at DC right now that's branded DC All In is all part of the same thing. But yeah, those 3 books are part of the same thing. The more complex answer is that it's not quite a flawless continuity anymore. And that was something that Marvel did really well, was kind of keeping up with month to month continuity. Hell, week to week. If you look at the Jim Shooter era, and it works for it apart because there would be like, you'd be reading an issue of Fantastic Four or Spider-Man or X-Men, and all of a sudden in the middle of winter or in the middle of summer, a big blizzard happens, and what's going on here? This is crazy. See recent issues of Thor, right? Shit like that, right? Even DC, they were doing that, especially in the triangle years of Superman, where it was like kind of constant week to week. Batman's done that with things like No Man's Land, where you have 4 or 5 different books telling a weekly story with different creators. So it's not quite like that anymore, and I know a lot of people get frustrated about that, but it is what it is. We have more of a murky stance of continuity where the big two publishers, they kind of care about it and they kind of don't, right? Like they want to keep a semblance of continuity, but sometimes there's not a lot of communication, not as much as there was definitely in the 80s, 70s, 90s when they were really paying attention to this stuff. And I think for Marvel, the Jim Shooter era might be some of their best continuity keeping, right? And it would excite you to read other titles that maybe you weren't seeking out, right? But what they do now is, for instance, let's talk about the Batman books, those 3 Batman books. Tom Taylor's doing his thing on Detective Comics. Philip Kennedy Johnson's doing his thing on Batman and Robin. And then you've got 2 different things going on in Batman right now. First of all, we have Batman Hush, Part 2. And that is Jeff Loeb and Jim Lee doing a sequel to Batman Hush. That is delayed. First of all, here's the crazy thing. The original idea for this, or not the original idea, I think the original idea was 12 issues back to back. But that they knew that wasn't going to happen. So then their plan was 6 issues of Hush Part 2, relaunch the title with Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez, and then do the next 6 issues of Batman Hush 2 at some point after the Fraction Jimenez launch, which is going to be really fucking confusing because then, so right now Batman is numbered as of the volume 2 numbering, so it's like on what, issues 150s, 160s, 180s, I don't know. I don't remember what issues they're at right now. But now it's about to go back to a number 1. So then what's going to happen? Are they going to continue Hush 2 with the numbering from volume 2? Or are they going to continue it from the numbering of volume 3? And then if that happens, is volume 3 going to continue to be published during? Now that's a whole set of confusion. Also, none of the DC Batman books right now seem to reference any of the stuff from Batman Hush 2. Then, you've got this. Detective Comics is about to gear shift into reflecting continuity from the new relaunch of Batman number 1 by Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. Batman's got a new suit, all that stuff. Is that going to be a part of Hush 2 when it does eventually return? Now, also, we still are due 1 or 2 more issues of Hush 2 that will be releasing alongside Batman's 1 and 2 and 3. Is so crazy. It's just publishing, man. They like, come on, DC, you know what? I guess the biggest mistake there was thinking that Jim Lee was going to be able to actually get this done and out, right? And I feel like the artwork's been rushed, if not sloppy, and I think that's a testament to what we're seeing with the delays. And, I mean, Jim Lee's a busy dude. He's a busy dude. He's an executive. He's at an executive level of DC. That doesn't mean he just sits there and plays video games all day. Maybe it fucking does. I don't know. I feel like he's in more, like, meetings with like, suits and ties and bean counters, talking about video games and licenses and toys and all kinds of shit like that. So, the way it is now, people work within story arcs, so more of a decompressed storytelling. Man, I'm rambling about this. So, to try to cut this short, with the story arcs, 6 issues of a Batman story, boom. 6 issues of a detective story, boom. 5 issues, say Batman and Robin, boom, whatever. It is up for them just to tell their stories as well as they can within the world that exists right now for Batman. And then it's up to us later on to see how it fits in a reading order if we want to put it that way. So really, it's yeah, that's what's going on. They are in the same continuity, but it is more of a murky, muddy and non-transparent continuity, if that makes sense. But I hope that clarifies things. Rogue Collecting Station. Hope everyone had a great weekend. I do too, Rogue. I hope you had a great weekend. A great one. Two Gun Pedro's here. Pew pew. Station PCPX Army. That's right. If you ain't down with PCPX, I got 2 words for you. Comic drama. GT Key Comics saying, Rockin Robbie, you are the star of some recent comic drama videos. I'm loving it. I'm glad you're liking it. For anyone not aware, there was a clip pulled out of last week's Rockin Robbie Live when I was doing the John Cena bit. I was doing the heel bit. Now, John Cena's no longer a heel. He's face turned again. And by the way, delivered one of his best promos of the year to Logan Paul on Friday night SmackDown. That was awesome. I really liked that. I thought that was dope. Also, John Cena had a win this week with the release of Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 1. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Somebody in the chat remind me to talk about Peacemaker. All right. So, a section of the show last week where I'm doing the bit, I'm the greatest of all time. I'm talking about the CBC Awards, right? We're nominated for 3, and in every one I'm in, in every category I'm nominated, Comic Pop is there too. Comic Pop is a channel I absolutely love. When I first got into doing YouTube, I was watching Comic Pop. I loved Back Issue. Back Issue was kind of an inspiration to what eventually evolved into PCP Movie Night. If you look at those early days of PCP Movie Night or our movie reviews, it starts with like 3, 4, 5 dudes standing awkwardly in a corner talking about the movie, and then they're short videos. And then we moved into just mostly 3 of us, me, Brooks, and Jelani, sitting at a desk and doing it. And I always wanted to get a studio and have a couch, just like Sal and the gang. So I have much love and respect for Comic Pop. They've been doing this longer than I have. They've been doing exceptionally well, and they are very successful with it. I have never met Sal or interacted with any of him or his crew, except for maybe like in chat here and there back when I used to watch them a lot more, when I was a little bit more plugged into what's going on in the comic book world on YouTube. So anyway, there's that. So I'm nominated against this Comic Pop in every category. And I remember last year we got our asses kicked by them. So I was like, all right, time to double down and just talk a lot of shit. You know, it's the year of the heel. We're doing the Cena thing. I'm going to make the case that I'm the greatest of all time. And we're just doing a fucking bit. And y'all know it. Y'all know it. If you watch Rockin Robbie Live on the regular and you don't understand the year of the heel bit, you're not paying attention, I guess, or you're just kind of plucking around. If you have ever jumped onto the channel or seen a clip of me talking mad shit as part of this year the heel bit, and you were offended or confounded by it, station, I truly am sorry that we fooled you with it. I fooled a few of my friends. I've had people message me being like, bro, is everything all right? Like, are you okay? Right? I was like, yeah. If you notice, I was mirroring the John Cena thing. Now I was a little bit formless without the John Cena. When John Cena just randomly face turned, I was like, man, I've been aping so much. I mean, let me, how did the year of the heel start? This is how the whole damn bit started. I knew that the year 2025 was our 10th anniversary on YouTube, Pop Culture Philosophers. So I started thinking, what are we going to do? I want to do something. And I told y'all, some of y'all may remember this. I said, next year is going to be the 10th year PCP. It's PCPX. We're like DX. And I'm going to make sure that I brand, and I'm going to make sure to be as obnoxious as possible about hitting you over the head with it. This is the 10th year of PCP. Boom, boom, boom. And then PCPX. And then at the same time, I start getting back into wrestling. And then I start watching old wrestling stuff. And I start remembering what I loved about wrestling back when I watched, especially during the Attitude Era. And then we started doing the PCPX DX bit. It was all suck it. It was all that. It was like, if you ain't down with PCPX, I got 2 words for you, right? And I play with it sometimes. Like, I got 2 words for you. the hunger. Tonight, we're going to be talking, we're playing with it. It's a bit, it's a wrestling thing, whatever. Then, at Elimination Chamber, John Cena turned heel. So then I posted up, told y'all it was the year of the heel. I ran with it. I borrowed one of my homie's kids' wrestling championship, started wearing it after he won at WrestleMania. I would have it on my shoulder. I delivered an entire promo here on Rockin Robbie Live talking about how I was the greatest of all time. What is John Cena called? The greatest of all time. There is a video where I'm literally wearing a John Cena shirt with the belt on my shoulder. I'm delivering this promo. I am the greatest of all time. Nobody does it like me. You don't deserve me. You haven't earned this, blah, blah, blah. That's the bit I was doing last week. I was just doing it again, probably poorly, because I was a little bit tipsy and a bit high, which I usually can handle, but it was particularly crazy last week because I hadn't actually had a drink in over 2 weeks. So then I start drinking a little bit. I start feeling it, whoa. But anyway, it's the same bit. Sticky Goose decided this was the moment to strike. I'm honestly surprised it hasn't happened sooner. There's been plenty of content for him to find of me doing this and bring it up. But he frames it as if new comic book guy loses it on a live stream. Which I guess is kind of funny because I guess we got him, right? If he honestly thought... Now, I don't think he honestly thought, because in the video he says, I think he's trying to be funny, but this looks bad. Whatever, dude. It's all good. I have no... So anyway, I was just doing the heel bit, right? There you go. That's what I was doing. To answer, if you need me to answer this question, I will answer this question. Do I think I am the greatest comic book reviewer of all time? No way. Do I think I'm the greatest YouTuber of all time? Definitely not. Hell, I don't think I'm the greatest comic book reviewer of right now. I think that Nick, Eric, Stu, and Greg are way better comic book reviewers than me. Why do you think I do a show with them every month, the monthly comic book review? Why do you think I do that with those guys? I do that because I really respect them. I do, and I respect Sal. Now, I don't know Sal. So me talking shit about Sal, I thought I'm talking shit about a channel that I'm so far under, they'll never fucking see it or whatever. It's just a bit. I need votes if we're going to win this thing. I guess I do want to apologize because if Sal saw that clip pulled out, he would think I was actually talking shit about him. Sal, I don't know you. Love you. More power to you. You're an inspiration. You're one of the goats in this space. And you deserve all the recognition. You and your crew, you guys are doing a phenomenal job. Love you. That being said, do I care? Will I be devastated if we don't win these awards? No. We made it last year just fine. We were nominated for 7. We won 0. I actually think it's quite funny to go from slaying it in 2023 to crickets in 2024. No, y'all, I don't take it that seriously. And most of y'all, in fact, if not all of y'all, really know this. And if you didn't, now you know. I love y'all. I love comic pop. I love everybody I'm nominated against. I think everybody's cool. And if you want to talk shit about me, if you don't like me, that's fine too. Sticky Goose, no hard feelings. You're just doing what you do. I'm surprised you hadn't really gotten to me yet. I mean, maybe a little here and there, but not really. So, kudos to you. Those are just the kind of videos that Sticky Goose likes to make. I'm not going to tell him not to make those videos. That's fine. I don't think Sticky's a hater. I just think Sticky is trying to do what works for his channel. So there you go. Have at it. No hard feelings. And I don't know. It's absolutely silly. It's absolutely silly, y'all. So there you go. Is the year of the heel over? I'm not saying it's over. I'm not doing a grand apology like Cena did. I'm not apologizing for doing a bit here on Rockin Robbie Live. We just do what we do, man. And you know what? I'm sorry if anybody ever took it the wrong way. That does suck. But yeah, man, I mean, that's pretty much it. But no hard feelings to anybody. Even people that wanted to run with that and talk more shit and like jump on that train, fucking go for it, man. Whatever works for you, man. I have mad respect to anybody in this space, whether it's on YouTube or in the chat. Seriously, because I've said this before, where just being on YouTube, that takes a lot of guts. You know, a lot of people don't like to do this. A lot of people wouldn't do this, right? And also being in the chats, being active and involved and engaged in the chats throughout the community of channels dedicated to comic books in one form or fashion. And there's a bunch of different subcultures within this YouTube comic culture, right? So anyway, mad respect to everybody that's a part of this community. Whether you love me or whether you hate me or whether you're indifferent, station. That's the goal. Be excellent to each other and party on, dudes. I wasn't trying to really talk shit about anybody. I wasn't crashing out on the stream. Y'all know, I know, it's just a bit, and Sticky couldn't see it. Or maybe he could. I don't know, and I don't fault him either way. So, there you guys go. And if you ever feel the need, if anything like this ever happens again, you ever feel the need to defend me, you ain't got to. But I do appreciate it when I see people try to defend me. But we all know, and we all got that same respect for this community. So, hell yeah, there you go. Nuff said. But one more P.S. Sticky Goose is a little bit of an asshat. All right. All right. What's up, Pete? How you doing? What's up, Cannabis? One of my favorites. Live and direct. You know it. Seen it, covered it. I was able to catch a live. Nice. Seen it, covered it. Happy to have you here. Yo, what's up, 9-Panel Grid Station? My man E, one of the best comic book reviewers of all time, on his way to being a goat. We have a bunch of goats in this. Fuzzy Dunlop is here. What's up, gang? Much love from Scotland. Station, man. How you doing? Scotland? Is it time for bed? What is it in Scotland? It's like, it may only be like midnight or so. What time is it in Scotland right now? I just had Declan and Rory on, Declan Shalvey and Rory McConville. They are working on the next Terminator book from Dynamite, Terminator Metal, which, honestly, I was going to be talking a little bit about Terminator here in just a second. But they got a new book coming out. They're in Ireland, and I think they were 5 hours ahead of me. So, yeah, you're probably only like, what? It's 5 plus 7. You're only like, what? 11:30, 12:30 around you? I know what 5 plus 7 is. I just don't know. I can't think right now where Scotland is with Ireland. If that makes sense. Anyway. I passed geography, y'all. I promise. I know they're like... Anyway, what's up, Fuzzy? Nice to have you here. Anthony, what is up, my man? Good to see you here, bro. You excited for football, man? Metal Elf Station. What's up, Robbie and PCP Army? CNSS 84 is here. Sup, Robbie? Hey, everyone. Station. How y'all doing? Billy's in the house. What's up, Billy? I know that all I can see is what you typed in, and all I can see is your YouTube handle. But it's looking good. You've been hitting those deadlifts, bruh. More power to you. How's the comic going, Billy? Did you ever send me anything? If you did, it got lost in the shuffle. Send it again. I want to see your comic. I know you... Surely you finally gotten yours out and not me, because I haven't gotten mine out. Would y'all know, it's fucking hard to make a comic. Rogue Collecting says, join us, patrons, to keep the station machine running. Hell yeah, thank you, buddy. Yeah, do that. Cannabis says, Final Fantasy. What a fucking nerd. I don't even play those games. Fantasy football season is here. My draft is less than a week away. Hell yeah. Good luck, my man. Don't draft anybody from the Cowboys. This is not the year. See, I'm trying a new tactic this year. If I say it's not our year, maybe a miracle will happen. Like a Disney film, sports movie miracle. Like some Mighty Duck shit or something. Major League shit going on here. Damn, I just ruined it by revealing that it was all a ploy. Road Collecting says Black Christmas rips. Yes, it does. Such a fucking good movie, man. Such a good movie. I lost my place in the chat. Let me get up there. Man, y'all chatting away. Maybe I should try to not go on 20-minute fucking answers or random tangents. Somebody says Sunday, and I'm like, ESPN Unlimited. Let me explain my whole thought process about an ESPN journey for the last 15 years. Robbie out there catching ghosts with shades on. You know it, Rogue. Anthony says, watch Suspiria today because of you. The 1977 one, the greatest movie of all time. What'd you think about it? I'm nervous. What'd you think about it? If you didn't like it, watch it a second time. Seen It Covered It says, Live gets 5 out of 5 you digs tonight. Well, thank you. Billy says, my book is in the sign-up phase. Dark Gift Comics, Bad Moon. Check it out. Dark Gift Comics, Bad Moon. I see a bad moon rising. You remember the movie Bad Moon? You ever seen that movie? It's like a werewolf movie from the 80s. Or, my bad, not the 80s, the 90s. It's actually not that bad. It's actually pretty good. We covered it on DHS a while ago. I'd never even heard of it. But it's actually pretty gory, pretty gnarly for the time that it was created. Bad Moon was cool. But I don't think it has anything to do with Billy's book. Anthony says, Absolute Batman 11 was amazing. Yeah, I loved Absolute Batman. I'm even loving this Bane arc. It's not too difficult to get me really hyped for a Bane story if it's well done. But man, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's awesome. Albert says, so you're an Auburn fan, not a Crimson Tide fan. Yes, I am an Auburn fan. War Eagle all the way, and this is definitely not our year, and that is not a ploy thinking that that's some kind of magical mojo thing I'm doing superstitiously to actually have the Tigers do well this year by acting like I expect them not to. I literally expect them not to, and they will not. We are the Crimson Tide of the fucking late 90s right now, in the early 2000s. That's what we are. That's the train that we're on right now, because they're just decided they're going to start claiming more bullshit national championships. And I'm like, I don't want the Auburn Tigers to become the Alabama Crimson Tide, claiming championships that aren't real, and also just fucking being shit. So there you go. Auburn, Alabama's real heavy down here, man. You got to watch yourself. Grab the wrong color Jell-O at school lunch, you're going to get your ass beat. I don't watch any AEW clips. It's almost too much of my time to keep up with Raw and the PLEs. so no, and I haven't really jumped into any AEW. I've seen some clips here and there, like when something comes across my feed, like when John Moxley, when Edge fucking put that fucking all those nails and a bat or whatever into him. Saw that. When people do really heinous shit, like I see it, it comes across my feed. But I don't really watch it. I've never watched a full AEW show. What's up, Kenneth? Seen It Covered It, just needs Crunchyroll. Matthew says, agreed. Pre-iPhone was the perfect technology landscape. Good way to put it. In a pre-iPhone world. Anthony says, been wanting to watch Deadwood for a while. Deadwood is one of the absolute best TV shows of all time. And when I talked about how much I love Timothy Olyphant as an actor, a lot of people don't get me. That is the show to really get people to get what I'm saying. Timothy Olyphant is fucking brilliant in that show. Also, Ian McShane His character, Swearingen, is absolutely astonishingly perfect. The writing on that show is so top-notch, it's levels above things even like Oz and The Sopranos, or hell, even Breaking Bad. I honestly think Deadwood might be one of the greatest shows of all time if it was allowed to actually run its course. It ends too soon. It ends in a part where it could end and it still has a nice ending, but we needed one more season. One more season at least. It didn't happen, but what did happen was that years later they did a movie, a very long movie, where the characters returned and they kind of capped it all off. And the movie's fine and it's cool, but it would have been better if we would have actually gotten a 4th season of Deadwood at the time. But this was the time where HBO was in their golden age, really. I mean, Sopranos, Oz, Deadwood, Rome, Carnival, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. Fuck, Entourage. I loved Entourage so much. They were really cranking out these good shows. Entourage was HBO, right? Was that Showtime? Either way, I watched that shit on DVD. So anyway, and I never finished Entourage. Mandy Moore was in Entourage. Man, I love Mandy Moore. I'm missing you like candy, yeah. Anyway, so I love me some Mandy Moore. Anyway, and then I guess they were overspending on a lot of shows, and they had to cut the budgets down, like Rome, Carnival, Deadwood, all the sets, all the costumes, the period piece stuff. It kind of was costing them too much. What did they do? We're also doing 6 Feet Under around the same time. Was that HBO? Or am I confusing some Showtime shows with HBO shows? Anyway, those paid premium cable shows back in those pre-iPhone days. But yeah, they like canceled a whole bunch of shows preemptively. And then I guess them saving that money gave them what they needed to eventually really take off when they started doing Game of Thrones. Two Gun Pedro says the DHS review of Wolf Creek will be on Tuesday. Hell yeah. Hey, Fable's here. What's up, Fable? How you doing, my man? Matthew says, thanks. I'm going to start reading all of them. Awesome. I've read the first issue of Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez's Batman. The second issue is available for me, but I haven't read it yet. But I have read the first issue, and it was good. Oh, another thing I was going to say. First of all, Jorge Jimenez's artwork in that Batman #1 is really great. It's really great. Batman's got new gear, new tech. A new Batmobile. Gotham City's kind of redesigned a little bit. It does feel like a new era for Batman. Brighter, but still gritty and Batman, but like in a brighter, more, I guess, 2025 world. But I liked it. I liked it a lot. Haven't been liking Hush 2. Hasn't been referenced yet, except for in one book. It will be very heavily referenced, is the new Red Hood book, which is a mature reader's book, actually. And it's truly a mature reader's book. There's like cursing and shit in it. Because I've read the first issue of that Red Hood book, and it's not too bad. Art's good, story's decent, and I'm not even the biggest Jason Todd fan. But that one comes out in probably like 2 to 3 weeks or something like that. That one directly references stuff from Hush 2, which I don't think Hush 2's actually even fully gotten to yet. Hush 2 is just a clusterfuck in every aspect of it. Eddie wants to know if anyone else hates the fake out in Absolute Batman this week. I didn't mind it. If I think I know what you're talking about. I don't want to get into too much spoilery territory, but I think I know what you're talking about. Anthony says, the first 2 episodes of Alien Earth were trash, ain't gonna lie. I have not watched them yet. I have not watched that at all. What's that, on Hulu or FX? I don't have access to that. What would you give a 6 out of 10? Well, not Alien Earth if you said that was trash, because 6 out of 10 is not trash. So you might be talking about Suspiria, or are you talking about something else? If you're talking about Suspiria, watch it again. Batman Dark Patterns has been phenomenal all year. Yes, that is not tied into current DC continuity. It's set more in old school Batman land, and I love it. I think Batman Dark Patterns is the best Batman book going right now. Only got 3 issues left. Albert says, damn, that sucks. Alien has to be one of my favorite properties. Doubles, what's up, Doubles? Doubles says, agreed, Alien Earth fell flat as hell. Man, I've heard a lot of stuff about Alien Earth. I've heard a lot of good stuff. This is kind of the first time I've heard people say bad things about it. But I haven't watched it. Eddie says, I need to watch Alien Earth. Anthony says, someone said it's the Disney Plus version of Alien. Pete says, Alien Earth has been fired, dude. 9-panel grid, Eric says, dang, I really dug Alien Earth so far. Well, you know, that's the way it goes, man. To each their own, different strokes. Oh, I guess was a detailed answer, so you're welcome, Matthew. Pete says, yeah, Alien has no bad episodes yet. Ghettohead Productions is here, said they canceled a Flash and a Wonder Woman video game. I haven't heard anything about that. But I'm not super plugged in to what's going on in the world of video games. Anthony says, what the fuck happened in Bill Waters' Bill Sienkiewicz Detective Comics this week? I don't think I'm smart enough to get it. Man, it's been like a week since I've read that. I've read a bunch of comics since. I remember really liking it, and I don't remember much about it right now. Someone remind me. Maybe I have to... I don't have it here with me. I'll have to go back and look. I'm sorry I can't address that, because I don't actually remember what it was about. Kid Cloud Kicker says, Jim was using Brian Benjamin and Carlos Donata on backgrounds and non-figure work on his last few series. They weren't available for Hush 2. Maybe that's one of the things. Billy says, I don't like Tom Taylor on Batman. I like him on Batman. I actually have liked this arc so far. Especially the artwork from Mikhail Hanin, I think is top-notch. Eddie says, I love the ambiguity of the Waters Sienkiewicz stories. Anthony says, I'll check out Dead Earth Episode 3, but I didn't like it. Kid Cloud Kicker says, Rob Liefeld trolls this endlessly. They get more money for going uncredited. Well, I know people that have done uncredited work on major books. Personally. Fable says, got to get them views. It's all good. Yeah, if you care about views and maintaining like that, that's fine. And you know, here's the thing, man. If you're doing a YouTube channel where you don't have an easy out like me, and I get it. Sticky's called me just the new comic book day guy. It's funny, when you pay attention to his comments about me, you know he doesn't know the channel. Like in that video, he said, Pop Culture Philosophers, there's only one of them. There's not. It just means you just know the one show that I do, probably because it's like the comic book show that I do, the weekly comic book review that pops up in his feed because of all the comic book content, right? But PCP Movie Night, that's where you see and meet a lot of the rest of the crew. PCP, or here, Rockin Robbie Live, he's like, Robbie just goes up there and talks to basically no one. What's he talking about? I'm talking to y'all. You're ridiculous. Anyway. So basically what I'm trying to say is, whether I'm a new comic book day guy or not, or whatever, or whether or not he notices the rest of the channel, it doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is this, and this is what matters. If you're on YouTube, it's very stressful to try to figure out content for your videos, especially if you want to drop daily content. And in the comic book world, and in many other factions of YouTube, there are ways to do it, like weekly. Like the reason why I started doing the weekly comic book reviews is like I want to do a video I could do at least once a week, every week. Comics release every week, I could do that. So we did that every week. And then we started doing movie reviews every week. Movie reviews, comic book reviews, new or old, new comic book day or the old school stuff. When we used to do Comics Revisited, when we do things like Marvel in the 90s, we do things like DC in the 80s, Image in the 90s. That's easy things to come up with, right? It's very difficult if you're not reviewing things to come up with daily content in the comic book world. And so I don't envy him for his position. I'm very happy to be a new comic book day guy. I'm very happy to be a movie review guy. I'm very happy to be a Rockin Robbie Live kind of guy. So there you go. Eddie says, Robbie is the GOAT of weekly comic book reviews. Well, thank you. You said it, not me. Eddie says, also love the eternally mad G.I. Joe guy in the comments. Yeah, we need to lay off the G.I. Joe guy. That's where I don't want to, because I don't think he's taking it as being fun. And I only really, honestly, like talking shit when it's fun. And so I think what I'm going to do is the next issue of G.I. Joe Real American Hero, I think I'm just going to grab it, I'm going to read it, I'm going to review it. Whether I've read the last 300 and whatever issues, I'm not going to let that bother me, because here's the thing. It's actually a little hypocritical of me to be like, yo, I'm not reading it because I'm like 300 and something issues behind. What do I tell people all the time? If you want to get into comics, just get into it. I was literally having this conversation with Declan and Rory on Friday morning. We just jumped in and filled in the gaps, and we eventually caught on and became part of this world, this saga, this wonderful medium that we call comics. So I will. That being said, I did read issue 301 and said, I'm really fucking confused. So I did review Real American Hero issue 301. But you know what? I'm going to grab the next issue and I'm just going to fucking read it. And I'm going to review it. You know why? Because we need to be easy on that guy. Because I don't think he's taking it in a fun way. And I know that, and that's wrong of me to be talking shit about someone who's giving me a view. So G.I. Joe guy, no hard feelings. I'll make up for it. But it also is kind of funny. I agree with you, Eddie. 9-Panel Grid says, I no longer care if Robbie is all right, because he got me. No more, though. I did get you. Eric's one of those dudes, messaged me personally one night. He's like, are you all right? I was doing this whole bit. It was the Cena bit. Cena had just done this bit where he's like, I gave this industry 23 years, and what do I get? I get people telling me I suck. I get people telling me I can't wrestle. So I did the same thing. I was like, I've been doing this for 10 fucking years, and what has it gotten me? What has it gotten me? People telling me I suck. People telling me I'm a shill, this or that. I did the same thing, and I was like, I'm kind of done with it. And I ended the stream or something. And Eric was like, bro, are you okay? I was like, yeah, man, it's just a bit. He's like, you son of a bitch. CNS says, comic pop reviews, while pretending to be fans, are very derisive and insulting during their videos, and they casually and regularly spoil the books than the other books than the video you clicked. All right. Road Collecting says, Slippery Gerbil just doesn't get a bit. Oh, I got you. The Year of the Heel has been... It just doesn't get a bit. I got you. The Year of the Heel has been great. Anyone who watches your shows knows it's a bit. That's all we do sometimes here is bits, man. My whole life is a bit, it seems like sometimes. Anthony says, yeah, you were hella intoxicated last week. Yeah, I was. Life is a bit, Eddie. There you go. Yo, we got Link in the house. What's up? Link, I desperately need a panelist on September 5th. It's Friday night for Humanoids from the Deep. I know that movie has a bad association with a lot of us. But I really need some people on that show. So, Link, let me know what you think about it. Let's do this. Let's do that review the right way. Eddie says, why is Sticky still relevant? Well, he's got a fan base. People like him. Link says, Sticky is my new bitch. All right. You go for it, brother. Fuzzy saying the irony in Sticky Goose thinking someone is trying to be funny and failing. Hilarious. Eddie says, Robbie is golden-hearted. Bruh. DGT. I'm not even going to try to butcher your name, but thank you for being here. From Denmark? How fucking late is it in Denmark? You just getting home from the club, bruh? What's going on? Roy's here saying, love your reviews, Robbie. You are wonderful. Well, thank you so much. Seen It says, all Sticky does is whine in his videos. Funny he came after you. Comical. I like that what you did there. Hey, don't hate on Sticky. Sticky's doing what he's trying to do, and I think he honestly feels like he has to keep doing the drama stuff or trying to, I mean, he's just, the crazy thing is this. Here's the one thing I will say. Sticky said, you know, I've played a character before, and I know that what it's like to play a character. If Robbie's playing the heel, that means he actually believes this. Rod, you don't know me. I do not believe that. Trust me. I don't. And if you think I do, then that's fine. But I think you said more about yourself than you said about me. It was just a bit. If you took it the wrong way, anybody else, I'm sorry. Sticky knows what he's doing, though. Sticky knows it's a bit. Fable says, people are watching even when you think they aren't. It's a testament to your voice in the comic space. Well, thank you. Link says, what's crazy is that folks are offended by confidence. A lot of people misconstrue confidence with arrogance. But when it comes to an asshat like me, I kind of get it. Fuzzy says, you don't owe anybody nothing. You come for the king, you best not miss. Link says, just because someone believes in themselves doesn't affect other self-confidence. Agree with that. Rogue says, I thought he was done with those videos. He's fine when he talks comics. Not sure why he has to talk negatively about anyone. Such a waste of energy. I don't know. Link says it's because he's a clown. Yeah, he's a little bit of a clown, but so am I. Two Gun Pedro says, station everyone. If you're not down with that, suck it. I thought Tom taught him a lesson. No, I don't think so. Oh, 135? It's not that bad. I guess America, how wide is America compared to Europe? Because, like, we got 4 different fucking times. Oh, no, actually, I guess that makes sense. Because if they're... Where's Denmark? Things are rotten in the state of Denmark. Fucking just took that long. Took that long for it to come into my for the back of my head to remind the front of my head. I don't think that's how neurology works, but anyway, it took that long for the back of my head to inform the front of my head that Denmark's where Hamlet takes place. Sticky will go live again. I guarantee it. Rogue says, man, I'm so bad with geography outside the U.S. Eddie says, I only read the first issue of the Dynamite series of Terminator. Should I catch up? Let me go ahead and we'll talk about that real quick. So I just read today. So I only read like the first 3 issues of this. And then all the Diamond shenanigans started where they were running late, holding comics hostage, shit like that. And then I had Declan Shalvey on, and we were talking about this, and I felt bad because I knew what the series was, but I didn't really know all of the series. I only read those first 3 issues, and maybe I should have read these before my interview with Declan, and would bring in Rory, because Declan and Rory work together on Time Before Time, and they're doing the new Terminator book, because this is it. 10 issues of this Terminator book, that's the complete story. That was always the plan. But they asked him to do another one. They suggested Rory come in and help him if he didn't have the time. And they already worked together, and they've already worked with time travel stories. So they're doing Transformers, or my bad, not Transformers, Terminator Metal. So just having that conversation made me want to reread these. So I went into my shop. I grabbed issue number 1, issue number 2, issue number 3, issue number 4. We were sold out of issue number 5, so I had to read that one digitally. Thank you, Dynamite. Then issue number 6, issue number 7, issue number 8, issue number 9, and the newest issue that just released, I think this last week, Terminator number 10. So these are a series of self-contained stories, right? Issue number 1 is a one-and-done story. And every story has a different artist, right? And some of the art is solid. Some of the art's okay. Some of the art's pretty freaking good, okay? Joe Mulvey, for instance, there's Luke Sparrow's artwork's pretty freaking dope. So I think there's only 2 issues that are like continuations, and it's 2 and 3. It's like a Vietnam story. So there's issue 1 is one story. Issue 2 and 3 is another story. Issue 4 is one story. Issue 5 is one story. Issue 6 is one story. They're all self-contained stories that the further you get into the series, you start seeing how all these stories connect into this one plan that Skynet has during the time of the Future Wars. And it's actually pretty clever, and I really liked it. So I sat down, I read all 10 issues in one sitting. I read them all in one sitting. Okay? So doing that, I could see the overall thing. Maybe if you read it, especially if you're reading it month to, or issue to issue, especially during the big delay that Dynamite had to deal with because of all the Diamond bankruptcy shenanigans. When you sit down and read it all in one sitting, the vision becomes more clear as you get into it. You're remembering the names, you're remembering the faces and the events, and I thought it was actually pretty solid. I thought it was a really solid book. I would probably give it like a 3 to a 3.5 out of 5 you digs. I did like it. Some issues were better than others, but I also, thematically, it's all about war and war across time and human history. And I really appreciate the book for that. And now, after having that chat with Declan and Rory, I'm very, very excited to see what happens in Terminator Metal, which releases in October. So get ready. There you go. Rogue says, I fell off Terminator. I would like maybe getting the trades. I mean, I liked it. I thought it was solid. It's not the greatest thing ever, but it was good. And it was solid, and it was rather clever. Broy is from, hello from India. Station, how you doing? Love your suggestions. Well, thank you so much. Trade Paper Dad, what is up? Station, any good upcoming series worth reading? 1 issue in right now, Superman the Kryptonite Spectrum. It's the exact same team as Ice Cream Man. I would highly recommend that. What else is coming up, y'all? Batman Dark Patterns isn't coming up. There's only 3 more issues, but man, that is worth it. Check it out. What's coming up? DCKO, I'm kind of excited about that, but I'm very much plugged into the ongoing narrative of the DC Universe leading into its next Darkseid-centric crisis event. So there's that. Yeah, I mean, Superman, Kryptonite, Spectrum. Seasons is only like 5 or 6 issues in. That's been pretty good. Every time I get asked this on a live stream, I blank. The new Red Hood's okay. Superman is good right now. What's up, James? How you doing? All right, so we are definitely behind in the chat. Let me find where I'm at. All right, here's where we are. I am going to take a whiz, and we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to continue addressing the chat and having a nice chat here. And maybe we'll go into Batman Hush and show and tell and all that shit. We'll be back on Rockin Robbie Live. Blind bags are some of the most exciting collectibles bringing joy to fans today. So we have decided for the first time ever that Dynamite will introduce the Vampeella Blind Bag Kickstarter, a high-end collector set packed with exclusives. The $100 mystery bags have a minimum value of $250 and could potentially exceed $500 with valuable and rare variants, cards, and ash cans. And to make it as special as possible, we are going to have high-end editions of Vampeella comic books from her 55-plus year history, with limited edition covers never available before. The big items will be metal or hollow foil covers worth $100 each, featuring art from J. Scott Campbell, Alex Ross, Jenny Frison, Frank Cho, Lucio Perillo, Joe Madureira, Mark Spears, and Peach Momoko. Not only these random Dynamite high-end books, but each bag features one of 4 limited edition variations of the stunning Vampeella number 21 uncirculated archival covers by Emanuela Lupacchino, plus a buyback book, an exclusive blank variant with a few lucky fans getting one sketched by Ken Hazer, and a limited edition collector's promo card with even more rare metal and enhanced editions. You'll also receive a Vampeella number 1 ash can featuring a mix of Mark Spears and Lucio Perillo, with a mix of Virgin and logo editions. Some of these ash cans sell for over $100 alone on eBay. This is the ultimate mystery bag for diehard fans and collectors alike, so don't miss out. Every item in this set was carefully curated to celebrate Vampeella's legacy with premium content and craftsmanship. Supplies are extremely limited, so lock in your collector bag today before they're gone forever. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live on Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm your host, Rockin Robbie Bills. We've had a great time already, just chilling, talking about comics, movies, pop culture, and a whole lot more, and the fun is just starting. Coming up in this hour, we got DC and the Oddies. We're going to be talking about Batman vs. Superman in Batman Hush, which is Batman 612, which is part 5 of the initial Batman Hush. Anyway, it's Batman vs. Superman. It's a cool one. We're going to be doing that. A little bit of show and tell. We're going to continue looking at the chat. All that and more here on Rockin Robbie Live. This show is driven, fueled, if you will, by your questions, your thoughts, your comments, and your concerns. So get them in right now. You can find podcasts and more over at popculturephilosophers.com. You should follow Pop Culture Philosophers on Facebook and on Instagram. And if you're on Facebook, the most important place to follow us is in the group, the PCP Army. Make it official. Become a part of the group. You can follow me on X at the Rockin Robbie. And of course, you can support the channel over at patreon.com/PCP or with the super chat. But all the support we need is a like, a share, share, a subscribe, and participation in the chat. So far, y'all have been dolls. Thank you so much. We do appreciate it. All right. Coming up, HorrorFest is underway. We're kicking off week 2 of HorrorFest tomorrow night on PCP Movie Night at 8 p.m. talking about The Hunger. On Tuesday night, Dylan's Horror Show is going to be doing Wolf Creek for week 2 of HorrorFest. And over at Blood Splattered Chatter on Thursday night, they'll be talking about Black Christmas on their road to Halloween and also as week 2 of HorrorFest. Also, the GHPR are going to be joining me on Rockin Robbie Live for a special presentation, a special Teen Dog Shades night on Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. The Paranormal Show, the Paranormal Investigative Show that I've been working on with some friends of mine that we've been giving you teases of. It releases next week, so we'll be chatting this Wednesday night for a special Teen Dog Shades night. We've been nominated for 3 CBC awards. Best Comic or Omnibus Review, Comic Pop, they're great. Jim Mint Collectibles, hey, I love that guy. John's Comics with Friends and No Good Comics, Omni X-Men, they're probably the best on this list. Near Mint Condition, that's Uncanny Omar. I like that guy too. And then, of course, Little Ol' Us, the Little Goats at the Weekly Comic Book Review. Then we got nominated for Best Live Stream for Rockin Robbie Live, the show you're watching right now. It would be awesome if we win that. However, we got Comic Collector Geek also nominated. Not super familiar with him. Comic Pop, I like them. Rob Fatstacks and the Comic Vet, those are 2 cool dudes. And the Code X Station, I don't know what that is, but I feel like they owe us some royalties that we then owe to Bill and Ted. And also the Comic Book Community Hall of Fame. I've been nominated for that, along with Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition, John from John's Comics with Friends, the immortal Biggie Shack, who I just finally had the opportunity to be on his show this last week, and we're going to be inviting him on soon. And of course, Comic Pop. And you know, we love Comic Pop, but we love even more than Comic Pop is HorrorFest. We did Candyman last week. We got The Hunger this week. The week after that, Humanoids from the Deep. After that, The Blair Witch Project. Then Return of the Living Dead 3. Then Shiver of the Vampires, the winner of the poll. Then we got Slumber Party Massacre 1, 2, and 3, the trilogy, reviewed here on HorrorFest. Then we got City of the Living Dead from Lucio Fulci. We got The Curse of Frankenstein from Hammer Studios. We got Mother of Tears, the concluding chapter in the Three Mothers trilogy from Dario Argento. And then we got Dracula's Daughter, one of the greatest sequels of all time in the Universal pantheon. The Monster Squad, the Chucky franchise is where we end it all. PCP HorrorFest, y'all. It's going on right now. Okay. When we last left, we were talking to the chat, so let's continue to talk to the chat. Trade Paper Dad had asked if there were any new series or series on the way that were worth checking out. 9-Panel Grid says, Escape just came out, and it's awesome. Daniel Acuna, great art. Rick Remender writing. I wasn't as enamored with issue number 1 as other people were. A lot of people really liked Escape number 1, so it makes me say, maybe I should reread that. But I didn't really vibe with it as much as Eric did. I know that Eric loved it, so definitely check it out. Keanu, what is up? Keanu says, what's good, Robbie? Looking forward to that new Conjuring movie? In a word, no. No, I'm not. The reasoning why is I love The Conjuring. I think The Conjuring is a modern horror classic. I think it's one of James Wan's best films, up there with Saw, the initial Saw. I think the initial Saw is a fucking brilliant film, okay? And I think The Conjuring is really good. I do like The Conjuring. But I didn't really vibe with number 2. And I really didn't vibe with number 3. Now, I've never seen any of the spin-offs, like Annabelle, like 3 of those, I think, or The Nun, or there was another one, maybe more. I've never seen those, the projects, I guess, in the Conjuring universe. But I love the first one, didn't really like the second one, and kind of hated the third one. Am I going to watch part 4? Yeah. Yeah, I am. But I'm not necessarily looking forward to it, but we'll see what happens. I'll go in with an open mind and hope to be excited and entertained. Pete R is here. Why we got all these Pete's all of a fucking sudden? We got a lot of Pete's up in this channel all of a sudden. All of a sudden, a lot of Pete's. Just can't get enough Pete's, I guess. Pete R says, good to see you, brother. You rock, Robbie. Love your channel. Big fan. Well, thank you so much. I'm a big fan of people that are big fans of me. Eddie says, need to see Suspiria. Have wanted to see it since RLM recommended. And then you did too, Robbie. It's my favorite movie of all time. I love it. Suspiria. But you gotta watch it twice. I mean that. And I hate to be that fucking guy. But there's a language to Argento. There's a language to Italian horror. There's a language to... Well, there's a language to horror, but you probably get that. But there is a language to Italian cinema. There's a language to Argento. There's a language specifically to that movie. So anybody who watches it and goes like, it's all right, or I don't know, I didn't really... Watch it again. But I am surprised at how many people are blown away with it the first time. Because I was. Eddie says, RLM is the YouTube channel Red Letter Media, who you would probably enjoy. I've heard of them. I really have. Let me write that down so maybe I'll check them out. Red Letter Media. Maybe I've seen them before. Anthony says, yeah, the original Suspiria visuals were incredible through the whole movie, and the creepy school was dope. Yeah, and the music is amazing. La 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 witch la na 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 wow. What's up? Link says the colors were gorgeous in Suspiria. Hell yeah. Anthony says, you watched Smallville back in the day? Not enough for most people. I wasn't a fan. We'll just leave it at that. But if I see Hydra Asylum Comics in this chat, I'm going to go off on Smallville, y'all. It's still the year of the heel. I don't give a dammy. Did you see the Raja Johnson or Jackson thing, Robbie? Look it up when you get a chance. Talk about heinous. No, I have no idea what we're talking about. Retro Rich says they filmed Deadwood around where I live. Fantastic series. Hell yeah. Link says Entourage was HBO. All right. A lot of great shows around that time. Fuzzy says 6 Feet Under was a beast. That was HBO. Okay. Anyone fans of Dead Like Me? I watched all of Dead Like Me. I thought it was all right. I liked it, but I never got as fully engaged in that as as other shows I've gotten into. Is the Suspiria remake good? Didn't look as cool as the original in the trailer. Anthony, it's a good movie. It's good, but it's not the original. It's not. It's not the original in anything, in any form or fashion. I mean, it is a remake. It is the same story, kind of a sorts. I just didn't vibe with it, but like, I don't know if that's a fair review or criticism of the movie because I am such a fan of Suspiria. Like, imagine your favorite movie of all time and they remake it. And they do a good job, but it just doesn't. I mean, I'm glad they didn't try to do the colors, and Tom York doing the music was great, but there was something, it just lacked a vision. I mean, it's got vision. It's got its own vision. It doesn't lack vision. It lacks the vision I want out of Suspiria, I guess. It's a good film, but it's not the original. Let's just say that. Westworld reused all the Deadwood sets. You know, I've only ever watched the first episode of Westworld. Maybe I should get on that at some point. I guess Inferno is like a spiritual successor or a part of the trilogy of Suspiria. Yes. So Suspiria is the first part of a trilogy. It's tied in together by the idea that there are 3 mothers, and this is an idea that predates the movie Suspiria. Argento got it from, I can't remember the writer right now. There's a writer who comes up with this idea. 3 witches, they're sisters. They're called the Three Mothers. They each rule an art school of sorts, a school of the arts, and they use the artistic, creative energy of the youth to fuel their existence, right? So Suspiria, dance school, and they're all in different places. The Black Forest in Germany, that's Suspiria. There's one in New York, and there's Mater Suspiriorum, Mater Tenebratum, and Mater Lamentarium, or I can't remember that last one. It means mother of sorrow, mother of darkness, mother of tears. So the mother of sorrow, or the mother of sighs, because Suspiria, the way it works is sighs, but it's more of a sorrow thing. So anyway, that is Suspiria. The mother of darkness, Tenebratum, is in Inferno, and is that the architecture school? That might be the architecture school, if I'm remembering correctly. I could be wrong, but anyway, Inferno, and all 3 movies are different. But so Inferno was done right after Suspiria, and it has some of the visual elements of Suspiria, but not quite like, it's not as good as Suspiria, but it is good. And we've covered Suspiria, and we've covered Inferno on the channel. And then the final one, which he did in like 2007, 2008, something like that, was called Mother of Tears, and it's got his daughter Asia Argento in it, and it's not as good at all as Suspiria or Inferno, but it is. I do like it, but it is different. But I'm excited to revisit it. I haven't seen it in several years, actually. Heard they took Westworld off of HBO, like off the app? That would be silly. The intro for the first season of Peacemaker was better than the new one. I would agree. 100%. I didn't like the intro as much. I didn't like the song. I didn't like the dance moves. It wasn't quite the first one, but you can't mimic that, I guess. But the first episode of Peacemaker, I really did like. I don't think it had... So I love Peacemaker season 1. But it took me a few episodes to really understand that this show is, first of all, crude and rude, but at the same time, very effectual in its layers of humanity, understanding, and relationship. And I loved, by the end of it, Peacemaker season 1. And I liked the first episode of Peacemaker season 2. It wasn't flawless. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't completely engaging. But by the end of it, I'm hooked. And I'm really ready to see what happens in season 2. I like how they play around with how this is firmly set in the DCU now by retconning some stuff from the first season. But I liked it, and I think that just like the first season, we won't really be able to judge this season until we're mostly through it, especially when we're at the end. And I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but the way the show ended really pulled me in. I liked it a lot. I'd give the first episode of Peacemaker Season 2 a 3.69 because that was the most full frontal nudity I have ever seen in a superhero project, y'all. My jaw dropped to the fucking floor. I will spoil this. There's a lot of tits, there's a lot of vag, and there's a lot of dick in this fucking episode, in one scene in particular, and I'm all like, why didn't I get invited to that party? Let's fucking go. Link says HBO's taking everything off the app. Oh, that sucks. Fable says, was hoping to catch him on a few HBO shows I missed. Come down here to my boy's video store. He's got them all on DVD and Blu-ray. Link says, I want to say I agree, Cannabis, but I feel like Season 2 intros could grow on me. I do agree with that, too. Because remember, they expanded the Season 1 intro, but I tell you what, it's going to be hard to break that song. But after hearing it so many times and seeing that intro, it may grow on us. So I'll give you that link for sure. Anthony says that Superman Ice Cream Man book was sick. Yes, it was. Retro Rich says, no one seems to like Hush 2. Yeah, we don't. Link's liking Alien Earth. I need to watch that. I need to check it out. Rogue says, I've been digging Alien Earth. It's just different. Matthew says, I just read Batman Black Mirror by Snyder for the first time. It's a GOAT Batman story in my book, just below things like Year One and Long Halloween. Black Mirror is really good, and probably outside of Batman and Robin and the work done by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely and others there, definitely the best Dick Grayson Batman story. It's really good. Jock on the artwork, Francisco Francavilla, who is going to be involved in Show and Tell. In fact, Dario Argento and Francisco Francavilla are going to be involved in Show and Tell later on. Retro Rich enjoyed Alien Earth. Cannabis says, Alien Earth is just another Gen Z wannabe. It's on Disney. I might still have access to Disney. Gotta double check. That Raja thing was crazy. He definitely OD'd. Who the fuck y'all talking about? What's Raja? Who the fuck is Raja Jackson? Quentin Jackson's son. Video shows Quentin Jackson's son Raja attack wrestler. Holy shit. I ain't heard none of that shit. Livestream shows MMA fighter. Oh, Quentin Jackson is Rampage. Is that the dude? No, it's not. That's not the dude who, no. Who the fuck is Quentin Jackson? I don't really do a lot of MMA. That is the dude. I was going to say, that's the dude who played fucking Mr. T in the A-Team movie. His son attacked a wrestler? What the fuck? During an independent event on Saturday in Los Angeles. Well, shit. Me and Sticky got nothing on Raja Jackson, I'll tell you that. Shit. Pete says, Alien is so good, people just ripping it up. Cannabis says, I'm a realist, sorry. Not sorry if it offends. Hey, nobody has to apologize for how they feel about a show. Link understands that. I've watched Silence of the Lambs this week and Seven, says Anthony. Link says you should add Zodiac to that. I say add Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, but you might just want to wait till March 2026. I wonder why. What happens in March? I've never seen Zodiac, though. Eddie says, agreed, shit talking should be in good faith. Also, they are doing some more G.I. Joe facsimiles with new Larry Hama commentary. That's super cool. I've got his first compendium, issues 1 through 50, I think. Second one's coming out soon-ish. We're getting to the second Transformers compendium before we're getting the second G.I. Joe one. Anthony says, Seven's ending was genius, but I think I like Silence of the Lambs overall more. I would agree with that. I'm curious as to what, if you love Silence of the Lambs and Seven so much, I'm curious as to what you would think about The Exorcist 3. Which I think is the greatest psychological thriller of the 90s. Number 2 is Jacob's Ladder. But it has nothing to do with serial killers. But I think you should watch Exorcist 3. And I would love to hear what you think about that. Especially in comparison with Silence of the Lambs and Seven. Bueller! Station, is your journey done? I saw like that you were live streaming earlier and I didn't have time to watch the video because you had already streamed. I didn't have time to watch it, but it looked like you were in a house. Is your journey done? He's probably already gone at this point. Bueller, I love you. I'm glad you're alive. I'm glad you made it. If there's still more to go, keep making it. But I thought it was just like 40 days, right? So maybe I don't know. I need to watch that video, Bueller. Love you, man. Anyway, Bueller says, I'm going to drop some knowledge. And when I say this, honestly, people should listen, because I think I might have earned a little respect over the years. Robbie is the GOAT, hands down. Bueller said it, not me. Eddie says, that's why I love Superman 2025, because it feels like jumping into a long-running comic, like when we were kids. Absolutely. Fable says, Robbie just turned babyface. Well, don't fucking bring it up. Don't point it out yet. Albert says, G.I. Joe, Real American Hero is decent. Pete says, Travis knows what's up. Bueller, I love you, man. You're so good. Anthony says, Superman movie was unreal. One of the best movies I've seen. Link says, Superman was fun. Had great energy. I'll gladly think on humanoids. Link, join us. I don't give a fuck what you say about the movie. You know us. We'll have a great conversation. Let me tell you something. Brooks, you want to talk about how much of an asshat and a troll I can be? Brooks is going to hate this movie, and I cannot wait to hear him talk about it. I don't think Jelani's going to like it either. I don't think they're going to like it. And I think they're expecting a funhouse situation where it's a movie I adore and cherish, and it's not. But I love Humanoids from the Deep, but the movie sucks, right? So I'm really excited to have this conversation. I feel like I'm in danger of a funhouse situation, though, tomorrow when we talk about The Hunger, because I really do love The Hunger. Think on Humanoids, Link. I really want you there. That would be awesome. I think you, Fable, and Verno should join me. Chokos, what is up? Disabled Sailors here says, I just watched Barbarian and prep for Weapons. I never like horror movies, but I loved it. 8 out of 10. I love Barbarian. Weapons is great too. Barbarian, Weapons. They're like, right. Barbarian to me is like a 5, you digs. Weapons is like, I'm leaning heavy on a 4.5 right now. But I fucking love Weapons. Weapons is so cool. I want to watch it again. I wanted to have time to go to the theater today, but I didn't. I went to the theater last night. My girl's really into K-pop Demon Hunter. It's a Netflix thing. It's a movie. It's an animated movie. K-pop. It's like a musical, but it's about this K-pop group who are there. Their whole purpose of existence. They're part of a long group of musicians who are also fighting demons and trying to make the earth whole and pure from demons. And then a K-pop demon boy band comes up to rival them, and they have this battle. She's obsessed with it. She made me watch the first one with her. It's on Netflix. You can watch it on Netflix. So I watched it, and I was like, that's fine. It was fine. I'm glad we watched it. I'm glad you like it. And then she wanted to watch it again, and I didn't want to watch it again because I was like, I've seen that movie. It's not really my vibe. I'd rather just kind of watch Breaking Bad right now. But I found out that this weekend only, Saturday and Sunday at certain theaters, they were doing K-pop Demon Hunters in a sing-along edition where people were invited to go watch it in a theater and sing along. So I took her to it, and she fucking loved it. And I'll tell you what, on the rewatch, I liked it even more. I kind of like the fucking movie, y'all. I'm not a fan of K-pop necessarily, and I don't really like animated movies that much. Like, not that I don't like them, but like it's harder for me to get into an animated film sometimes for some reason. But man, on that second watch, in a crowd of people that were loving it and singing along, I kind of had a lot of fun with it. I don't know. K-pop Demon Hunters, not that bad. I like it. I'd honestly I would give it like a high score too, for what it is. Like, it's not one of my favorite films. I'm not obsessed with it, but for what it is and what it's trying to do, it does it exceptionally well. It's like a 4 you digs for me. Honestly, probably better than that. I don't know. Maybe I should watch it a third time. 3 o'clock in Denmark? Yeah, you just getting home from the club, ain't you? You're clubbing. A Sunday night. Chill out, man. What is up, my homie? Finally get to chill out on some PCP on my off day. Station, you beautiful SOBs. Hell yeah, you son of a bitch. Weapons has me so pumped for Resident Evil. Link, I get you, but I would rather have this dude. I can't remember his name right now. I need to remember his name. I'd rather have him just continue to do his own fucking thing. But yeah, dude, if he's doing Resident Evil, it's going to be the best Resident Evil movie we've ever gotten. Trust me. If the studio will let him, I'll tell you that. That's the deal there. Disabled Sailor said, I met Declan Shalvey at a Comic-Con a few months ago. Great dude. Yeah, he's a super cool dude. Super cool dude. I really like him a lot. I love his art. I like his writing. And he's really cool to have a conversation with. And him and Rory were great. They were so great. Y'all, check out that show if you haven't already. I know not a lot of people watch the creator conversations, and that's fine. I don't do them for the views because I know that they're not always going to be there. But they're really cool guys. And I really, really, really like talking to people in this industry. Even though it gets me accused of playing favorites. Anthony likes the current Terminator series. The cover to 3 is dope. The one that I have? Oh, yeah. What, Full Metal Jacket? Is that what's going on there, right? That's totally Full Metal Jacket, right? It's good shit. That's a Declan cover. I dropped the Terminator series. The art was lackluster. Well, there's different artists pretty much every issue. So it kind of... Some artists I thought were okay. Some artists I thought were good. Some artists I thought were great. My favorite artist on it might be... Honestly, Joe Mulvey. I love Joe Mulvey, but this Sparrow Cat. But who's this other guy? Oh, man, who was it? Is it Ree or Ray? I think it's this one. Because that's, like, does that make you think of Ghost Ship? This is the one on the submarine. Yeah, this dude's art was fucking dope. This one had grit and texture. Some of the art doesn't have the texture I think that it's needed on this book. But this one really does. I like this artist. But I also love the Joe Mulvey stuff. But look at that. That's pretty fucking dope. And I love that in every issue, a Terminator's got to lose some fucking face skin, right? So you get the iconic skeletal, endoskeletal reveal. Eddie says, Robbie, I keep missing your lives with Amy. Can you ask about when their trades will come out? Because I have Thundercats, Space Ghost, and Johnny Quest on trade through my pool. So appreciate you so much. Dynamite's just now getting back on track. I could ask Amy, but she wouldn't know. Dynamite is not... I think Dynamite could be better at getting trade paperbacks out quicker. And if I have any inch of pull with Dynamite, which I do feel like I'm partly responsible for the Captain Planet series happening. But that's just a bit too, y'all. I don't honestly think that. Just so you know. Disclaimer. Yeah, I can talk to them about that. Because that is something... Because I do have conversations with people at Dynamite, including the publisher. Anthony says, Valiant is doing their own version of the Absolute Ultimate Universe. New Bloodshot was sick. I didn't really like the new Bloodshot. I also didn't like the new Shadow Man. We got a new Harbinger and a new Exo Man-O-War on the way. We'll see what happens. But, you know, if you like it, I'm glad you do. If you didn't like the new Bloodshot and you want to read some good Bloodshot, I would recommend Bloodshot Unleashed by John Davis Hunt and Dennis Camp. Great stuff. Has anyone here seen Speed Sultan's channel? Best Gen Z younger comic book channel? No, never heard of it. Speed Sultan? I'll check it out. Speed Sultan. All right. Eddie says, I'll get Terminator in trade after hearing all of that, or track down the issues if I can. Chill Out Man says, my eyes are so bad. Eddie typed Space Ghost and it looked like Tupac Ghost. And I'm like, they made a comic too? Fuzzy says, I really enjoyed Event Horizon less so. Yeah, I didn't really like Event Horizon that much either. Dark Vizzo, what's up? Says, I read the first 3 Terminator issues, but fell off during the delay. I can't afford it now because Stu and E got me to pick up Superman Kryptonite. Well, Kryptonite Spectrum's pretty good. Cannabis says, Bloodshot and Shadow Man were awesome. Robbie didn't like them, but he's wrong. You know what? That's all right for you to think I'm wrong, Cannabis. Even though I think Cannabis is always right. But Cannabis with a C. There's a Kendrick Lamar comic coming, I saw. Interesting. How many Mark Spears blind bags is everyone picking up? Wants to know Dark Fizzo. Yeah, a lot of people on that. This blind bag craze is about to go crazy. Pete bought 20 copies. Fable says, got a dip. Have a great night, my friend. See you tomorrow for the Hunger, Robbie. HorrorFest 2025. Station, my man. Good to see you. Man, you asshats got me fucking doing it the wrong way now. Station goes out this way. Station has to be at an angle. It's not this. This isn't station. It's this. Now y'all got me fucking doing that. What is this? This is some bullshit. That's why everybody thinks we're a cult. Because we do shit like this. But if we just all did this... Pete says, I voted for PCP on all the categories I could vote for. Well, thank you so much. Pete says, another Pete. I think that's a different Pete. Nope, same Pete. Mother of Tears is one of his better recent films. I think his best recent film is Dark Glasses. I really like Dark Glasses. I'm late as fuck, but what'd you think of Barbarian? I love Barbarian. Barbarian's amazing. Such a great movie. Original, funny, ridiculous, scary, fucked up, crazy. 5 you digs. If you want to watch my full original initial thoughts, over at Dylan's Horror Show, we did Barbarian. Can somebody pull up that link? Stu, what is up? Station gang, Station Robbie. Hope everyone's had a great weekend. Good to see you here, Dr. Doom's Fan Club. Chill Out Man says, hey, Robbie, I'm loving the Funhouse shirt. Fun movie, too, no matter what your friends say. Fuck yeah, dude. The Funhouse. Pay to get in. Pray to get out. Dark Fizzo says, I voted PCP Army across the board, too. Super excited. Rook Exodus starts back up in October. Hell yeah, dude. I haven't heard that yet. That's awesome. Metal Elf says, that's a great horror lineup. Well, thank you so much. I think so as well. Oh, Rabid. David Cronenberg. Thank you, James. That's a good one. We got a Cronenberg movie coming up in March. For March Madness. I already know the March Madness lineup. We are that far ahead. I already know the January, February, and March lineup of next year. I'm working on April right now. Yeah, Eddie likes Smallville. Brian LCS is here. What's up? Brian is, of course, the guy who nobody asked him to, but does the CBC Awards. And everybody should respect Brian and what he does, because it's good. Brian, you're doing the Lord's work. Thank you. But you also kind of suck. Okay, once again, disclaimer. I was bullshitting. I was talking shit. I know Brian enough. I think. I've never been on screen with Brian, actually. Have we? I don't think we've ever been on screen together, Brian. We're gonna have to make that happen. Maybe we should invite you on to talk about the CBC Awards. And I promise not to be self-promoting. Chill Out Man says, couldn't watch Smallville. Older sister kept watching Party of Freaking Five. Party of Five, I think, is better than Smallville. I like Party of Five. Hot women, hot men. Sorry, hot people in that show. Hotter than Smallville. I'm sorry. Tom Welling, not hot. Sorry. Matthew Fox and Scott Wolf, though? Jennifer Love Hewitt? Come on, there's some hot people in Party of Five. Chill Out Man. I know you're all about the hot people. Come on, man. Come on, man. Am I watching From? I don't even know what From is. What is From? Dr. Doom's fan club says, highly recommend Alien Earth. Been awesome through 3 episodes. We have some controversy about Alien Earth tonight. I guess I need to watch them and talk about them, but I don't know if I'm going to have time this week. I'm actually going to New York this weekend for the first time. I'm going to New York. We're going to be watching the Oasis reunion show at MetLife Stadium on Labor Day, a week from tomorrow. So I'll be in New York on Friday night. Plan on going to go get some hot dogs, some pizza. We're doing a tour of Yankee Stadium. The Yankees are not in town, but we're doing a tour of Yankee Stadium. We're going to eat pizza. We're going to eat hot dogs. We're going to try to meet up with some people. Should be fun. Should be a fun time. I get to fucking see Oasis. It's awesome. Very excited. So yeah, no Rockin' Robbie Live next week because I'll be in New York. See ya, Eddie. Have a good one. Watched Barton Fink last week too. Movie was fire. I love Barton Fink. I was struggling because there is a Coen Brothers film that we're doing either in January or February. I think it's in February. And it was a toss-up for me between Barton Fink and Blood Simple. And I actually wound up deciding on Blood Simple, but Barton Fink is amazing. I might fucking change it. Metal Elf says, OG Suspiria had incredible presence the whole film as opposed to just a few scenes in the remake. Still good. Anthony says Black Mirror is perfect. Yep, Mr. T, exactly. Metal Elf says Dario Argento, Lucio Fulci, Mario Bava, Sergio Leone. The Italians know how to do it right. Yeah, don't forget Lamberto Bava or Federico Fellini. Man, that's crazy shit. Will you see, what's up, Akers? Will you see Flyover where they hijacked 4 airplanes and stored them in a weather balloon and then aimed to launch them at capitals, if not paid billions, then started the riot at capitals once? I haven't heard of that movie, but if it looks cool, I'll watch it. I'll watch the trailer if it's out. Cannabis says, I don't know why everyone is into Barbarian. I found it cheesy and predictable. I found Barbarian to be so unpredictable. Like, a little cheese, yeah, but totally unpredictable in my opinion. But you know what? It is what it is. K-pop is insufferable. Feel for you, man. It's all right. Cannabis says K-pop is not my thing, but I still found it entertaining. All right. If I skipped your comment, I'm sorry. SNSS84 says, speaking of creator interviews, it was amazing to see Brandy Roderick on PCP a while back, and she's still just as gorgeous as always. Yes, I agree. She reached out to me, wanted to come on. She told me about her new movie, Wineville, which I really liked. I was very excited to have her on the channel. I would love to have her back. We still follow each other on Instagram. She still likes some of my posts. So that's cool. I would love to have more horror interviews. You know, I did Brandy Roderick, and then we had C. Thomas Hal on the show, and I want to book more like movie interviews as well. Haven't had much luck since, but you know what? We're gonna keep trying. Scarefest is coming up in like a month and a half, and we're gonna try to make some connections again there. Yeah, John Davis Hunt is sick. Yeah, that Wildstorm book with Warren Ellis was awesome. Thank you for sharing that link, Two Gun Pedro. Cannabis says the problem with the new Bloodshot is the exposition dump, but once you get past all that, it's a pretty action-packed episode with great art. The next issue will be make or break for me. Yeah, we'll see what happens in the next issue. We need the Breaking Bad update. You on to Better Call Saul yet? If you're down for a meetup in New York, I'm down. Pete, reach out to me on IG. Pete, PDP. Are you on IG? If you are, reach out. It'll be in a very public place. From is a show about a town that you can't leave and a mobster comes out at night. A lot of people from Losterville. I have heard of that show, actually. I just forgot the name. I heard it was good. What I just wrote down, I'm going to look at it later and go, Prom? Oh, yeah, I just saw Honey Don't. I want to go see Honey Don't, the new Coen film. Yeah, it's, is it Ethan? It's only Ethan, though. It's not Ethan Angel, right? I'm only in New York City for a few days. Monday or Friday night till Tuesday early morning. Yeah, I did have Pony Boy on. Just type in Pop Culture Philosophers, C. Thomas Howell. You'll see the interview. Little 10-minute thing. I did it in person. A homie of mine runs a toy shop in town. And he has celebrity guests. And he knew, because he also goes to Scarefest, because he's a big horror guy. And he's my buddy Jordan. And he reached out. He says, hey, man, I got C. Thomas Howell. Do you want to come in and interview him? I was like, fuck yeah. And so hopefully, I want to do more of this kind of shit. I want to do more interviews with not just people in the comic book space, but people in the horror movie space in particular. But yeah, I had a great interview with C. Thomas Howell. We talked about his first gig on E.T., getting that gig because his dad allowed him to smoke a cigarette, the influence of his dad on him and his career, working in television versus movies, working in as an actor versus as a director, his music career, and because he does a lot of country western music. And we also talked about The Hitcher, which I love The Hitcher. So hell yeah. Yeah, only Ethan, but I really want to see that. Metal Elf says, Barbarian threw me and I had the Sixth Sense figured out in 9 minutes. The Sixth Sense made me feel so fucking stupid. So fucking stupid. All right. I got to take a piss. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I'll give you the Breaking Bad update. We'll do DC and the Oddies, and we'll do Show and Tell. We'll be right back here on Rockin Robbie Live. I just ask you one question. How's it supposed to feel?
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seeds as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Blind bags are some of the most exciting collectibles bringing joy to fans today. So we have decided for the first time ever that Dynamite will introduce the Vampeella Blind Bag Kickstarter, a high-end collector set packed with exclusives. The $100 mystery bags have a minimum value of $250 and could potentially exceed $500 with valuable and rare variants, cards, and ash cans. And to make it as special as possible, we are going to have high-end editions of Vampeella comic books from her 55-plus year history, with limited edition covers never available before. The big items will be metal or hollow foil covers worth $100 each, featuring art from J. Scott Campbell, Alex Ross, Jenny Frison, Frank Cho, Lucio Perillo, Joe Madureira, Mark Spears, and Peach Momoko. Not only these random Dynamite high-end books, but each bag features one of 4 limited edition variations of the stunning Vampeella number 21 uncirculated archival covers by Emanuela Lupacchino, plus a buyback book, an exclusive blank variant with a few lucky fans getting one sketched by Ken Hazer, and a limited edition collector's promo card with even more rare metal and enhanced editions. You'll also receive a Vampeella number 1 ash can featuring a mix of Mark Spears and Lucio Perillo, with a mix of Virgin and Logo editions. Some of these ash cans sell for over $100 alone on eBay. This is the ultimate mystery bag for diehard fans and collectors alike, so don't miss out. Every item in this set was carefully curated to celebrate Vampeella's legacy with premium content and craftsmanship. Supplies are extremely limited, so lock in your collector bag today before they're gone forever. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on Pop Culture Philosophers. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. We've had a great show already. We've been going for 2 hours just interacting with the chat, the non-existent chat, according to some people. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for watching on the rewind. Thank you all so much. We really do appreciate it. We are nothing without you, y'all, the PCP Army, the viewers, the audience, the comic book community. Y'all are truly the GOATs. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, what's up, everybody? Check out all the links in the description. T-shirts, podcasts, Instagrams, Facebooks, PCP Armies, all that shit. Patreon, Super Chats, Hellboy song, blah, blah, blah. Y'all don't care about that. Just you being here, just you watching this means the fucking world to me. Y'all are the best. Coming up, we still got DC in the oddies and show and tell. We're going to be doing that very, very soon. But first, BCP Movie Night continues week 2 of HorrorFest tomorrow night with The Hunger at 8 p.m. Central Time. Tuesday night over at Dylan's Horror Show, they'll be talking about Wolf Creek as part of HorrorFest. Blood Splatter Chatter. On Thursday, we'll be talking about Black Christmas as part of HorrorFest and on the road to Halloween. I'll be talking with my other fellow members of the GHPR. That's right, I've been working on a paranormal investigative YouTube show. It launches next week, finally, after over a year of work. And I'm going to have my buddies Scott and Trevor on the show Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central Time for a special Teen Dog Shades night. Get your Teen Dog Shades ready, because we're ready to launch Signal and Noise. And here's a sneak peek.
Yeah, I sure did.
Nice. I don't know, this is like always, this is a place that we used to like come and just chill. And kind of like, it's kind of peaceful. Churches are kind of peaceful to me, man. Like there's a lot of like energy put in places like this, right? Like for real, like what we're talking about with Dead Children's Playground, like what does belief do to a location? This is one of the oldest churches in this town.
Would there be a way to get the bell ringing?
It's a beautiful place.
So, like I know they've all kind of said at this point, this is our first really big one, and it's a huge moment to capture on film. I've been saying for weeks leading up to this, it feels like we've kind of been legitimized. And, I mean, the further we get into filming Signal and Noise, the more I think that the point of this whole thing is really about growth and change and all that kind of stuff, you know? I think it'll be an exciting night. Like I was saying to Robbie, it definitely has a lot of foot traffic around here. There's people all over the place, people come in here constantly to eat, right? But, I don't know. So, we're going to see if we can play off that, kind of get that atmosphere going. Right now it feels kind of chill, kind of quiet, but maybe when the lights get off, we get going, maybe it'll be a little different.
But sometimes you would go down there and you'd be the only one. Like I went down there one night, and I swear when I got down to the bottom, somebody said my name, like right behind my head, and I thought it was my friend, and I turned around and nobody was there.
Okay.
We like to talk about the esoteric cult stuff that I'm into. I use a lot of like Egyptian work, right? Where the apparition is supposed to be, and these amazing tables. This is a comic book table representing us, the D, right?
Absolutely.
And then over here, ancient Egypt. Right here where the apparition allegedly was. There's a reference to comic books, a reference to esotericism. It's interesting, it's cool. I definitely think we should focus something at this area. There is, definitely it's the basement that feels the most like oppressive. Like being back in that corner, that just could be because you're all the way back, you know the exit's so far away. There was the CO2 warning and all that stuff, but it just felt stale and stagnant and just like, I don't know. And then that mirror was interesting, but being up here is different. The whole vibe is different downstairs. But I just thought that was too much of a coincidence. Synchronicity is something we should pay attention to in all of these situations.
100%.
See if you can get it to go all the way to red for us.
There you go. It felt kind of transcendental almost for a second. Like I felt like I was just kind of up in the air, like I wouldn't really see it anymore. I just got more and more disoriented as it went on. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you definitely won over our host as well. Have you ever known of us? Have you ever known of us? The of us was very, very clear.
The people working here have.
We are, I am.
There are four
And
of
us,
us here that
are
know
we?
you.
Legend?
We're going to be wrapping it up here in a second. I'll see you guys later. It's been a nice night. But that's to begin.
So join us on Wednesday for a special Teen Dog Shades night where me and the other members of the GHPR, Greater Huntsville Paranormal Research, talk about our new show debuting next week, Signal and Noise. That's Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time. Get your shades on, y'all. All right. Also, we have been nominated for 3 CBC Awards. Go to cbcawards.org. Will somebody please throw a link out in the chat? We've been nominated for Best Comic Book or Omnibus Review. We've also been nominated for Best Live Stream for Rockin Robbie Live. And we've been nominated for the Comic Book Community Hall of Fame. Lots of deserving channels nominated in these categories and many others. Go to cbcawards.org. Vote for us or whoever else you deem necessary. All right. Robbie, which episode y'all gonna do a triple B scene like Peacemaker, boobs, butts, and bush? Brother, you can't get away with that on YouTube. I'm glad y'all like the Nefex song, How's It Supposed to Feel? That's a good song. Saw that Mary was in the house. Mary says, what do you think of Star Trek Strange New Worlds? Chokos and I have been super into Season 3 as a lifelong Star Trek fan. I'm so happy to finally gotten my husband into it. Dude, that's super awesome, Mary, that Chokos, you've gotten him into it. You know me, I'm a big Trekker as well. I love Star Trek, but I've only seen the first 2 episodes of Discovery, and I have not seen any of Strange New Worlds. I haven't had access to Paramount Plus for a couple years, if not more. So I just haven't gotten around to it, but I've just now been finally getting into Breaking Bad. We're about to do the Breaking Bad update, but I hear Strange New Worlds is really good and really honors what Star Trek is supposed to be. Hear that from a lot of Star Trek fans. So that's pretty dope. Apparently I'm trying to grab my beer from over here, which was an empty can. So now we got a new one. All right. If you're interested, AOK IPA from Avondale Brewery in Birmingham, Alabama. So there you go. All right, where are we at? Yeah, saw an advanced screening of Caught Stealing in New York City yesterday. A baseball-influenced movie. It will be open by the time you get here. It has an amazing cast. I'm very excited to check out that movie. I've seen the trailer multiple times. It's like that's the one trailer that's playing on every movie I go see. It's the new Darren Aronofsky film. I'm really excited to check out that movie. That movie, Been Caught Stealing, and the other one is One Thing After Another, the new P.T. Anderson film, I believe, coming out a little bit later this year, maybe in September as well. I definitely want to see that. Caught Stealing, was it good? I really want to see that movie. What's up, R. Ariaga? Reviewing comics tonight. Meyer, well, no DC sneak peek because my lunar shipment was delayed. What's my Instagram account name? Pop Culture Philosophers. All one word. That's me on IG, Pop Culture Philosophers. All right. But we are doing some DC work. Clear your throats, y'all. Let's do it. It's time for the comic book review segment. All right, y'all, it's time to get back into Batman Hush with one of our favorite segments here, or should I say a variation of one of our favorite segments here. It's time for DC in the Oddies. And tonight we're talking about Batman 6112. 6112? I mean 612. 612. This is part 5 of the initial Batman Hush by Jeff Loeb, Jim Lee, and Scott Williams. And I'm very excited to talk about this issue because it might be my favorite issue of Hush. When Hush came out originally, we were on board. We were all piecing it together, trying to figure out what's going on. I mean, we're in the year 2000, 2001. We got Jim Lee and Jeff Loeb on Batman. Now, let us not misunderstand how important it was at this time to have Jeff Loeb on Batman. Batman had gone through a bunch of different writers, And in fact, we're right after Ed Brubaker, Greg Rucka, a really great Batman run, but sales were just kind of okay. They really needed to hotshot this book. And Jeff Loeb was the writer of some really significant and well-received, both commercially and critically, Batman miniseries, along with Tim Sale, including Batman Long Halloween and Batman Dark Victory. So what if we put Jim Lee with Jeff Loeb and Scott Williams, of course, on the inks, and had them hotshot and do a Batman mystery set in the present continuity? And it eventually leads us to this. So, very quickly, the new villain, Hush, has been introduced. He's manipulating everything behind the scenes. We're not supposed to know who Hush is at this point, but we all know who he is. But it all leads to this, because Killer Croc ransoms a kid, gets some money. That money gets stolen. It's all perpetrated, all orchestrated, I should say, by Hush and another character. We'll get to them in a few issues. But Poison Ivy has the money. She manipulated Catwoman. Selina's pissed. Catwoman is trying to go after Poison Ivy. She's hiding out in Metropolis. Batman and Catwoman have just recently started near bumping uglies again. And he's there in Metropolis to find Poison Ivy for Catwoman, with Catwoman. And Poison Ivy gets Superman involved. She starts controlling Superman, and in the last issue, we had Superman saying, not him, not here, not now, but Superman has showed up, controlled by Poison Ivy. So there's Catwoman, there's Batman, there's Superman, there's Poison Ivy, and they're freaking out. And Batman says, if I know him, and I do, I know what his next move's going to be. Heat vision. So he gets Catwoman out of the way. Clark is going with the heat vision. Batman takes Catwoman, dives into the water, into the bay. Poison Ivy is furious. They're trying to get away. And what we're getting from this is Batman's fear is the wrong word, but his worry about Clark being involved. And as he escapes, Poison Ivy goes, what the hell's going on with you? Superman's like, I can't kill. You know I can't kill. Oh, you're resisting too much. What if I lay my Poison Ivy smack on you again? Meanwhile, Batman is leading Selina, Bruce and Selina, through the subway tunnels of this. Don't forget, Jeff Loeb has also been doing amazing work on Superman at this point in his career. And one of the things that Superman has done, the world of Superman, I should say, is they upgraded Metropolis during the Brainiac Y2K story, right? And during that story, Brainiac shows up and evolves Metropolis into this future technologically driven city. So they're going through the sewers, which are lead lined courtesy of LexCorp, so thank God for them, and they're running around, and Batman or Bruce is telling Selina, yo, we got to take our time. He's doing this. We got this much time. She's like, well, you've researched this. What does he pull out, though? He pulls out the kryptonite ring. The kryptonite ring. Now, I don't know where... I can't remember if this happens after... I think it does. So I think this happens after... There's an issue of Superman, which crossed over... Yes, this is after. Because it crossed over with Greg Rucka's Detective Comics. And what it did was... It was a two-part story where Lex Luthor had this kryptonite ring, and he has just been elected president. Right? He's just been elected president. Batman breaks into the White House to steal this kryptonite ring. And Batman says that Superman is the best at what he does. And Catwoman is like, well, that's open to debate. And he said, he's the best at what he does, not what I do. So then they put out some bombs out there in the subway. They're about to go confront Superman. There's a plan involved. Batman gives Catwoman a list of 3 names. Go find one of these 3 people. You're going to get them. She goes, I'll pick the woman because I know his type. She gives Batman a smackaroo. He goes, why did you? She goes, because later you might not be able to do that. Good luck. But Batman doesn't believe in luck. But if he did, now would be a good time to start. That's what he says right here as Superman crashes in, finally finds him. And here is one of my favorite moments of Batman Hush. First of all, let's really talk about Jim Lee right here. This is good, solid work. A big double-page splash of Batman punching the shit out of Superman. And let me just read the captions, because this is some of my favorite Batman narration of all time. If Clark wanted to, he could use his super speed and squish me into the cement. But I know how he thinks. Even more than the kryptonite, he's got one big weakness. This is the best line. Deep down, Clark's essentially a good person. And deep down, I'm not. He beats the shit out of him. He starts punching him, but after a few punches, he realizes, if I keep doing this, I'm going to break my knuckles. I'm going to break my hand. So then he goes into supersonics. He's got the kryptonite ring. He's beating Superman down. He pulls out the hypersonic, and then he gets his hand frozen. But then Superman gets messed up again by some flashing lights. It's all about timing. Gotta blind him. It's all about timing. And I love Batman's response here. He dodges Superman here, gets him to go into the high voltage. By the way, during this whole time, he tells Superman, if you ignite anything, if you use your heat vision, there are bombs set and you'll blow up the entire block. But he's lying. It's all a go to get him to basically electrocute himself with all of Metropolis's city, which of course is a throwback to Dark Knight Returns, which is probably the most famous Batman versus Superman moment. And one of the things that Batman does is he takes the entire power grid of Gotham and fuels it into a punch on Superman. But this gives Batman enough time. But of course, the super city comes back, and then so does Superman. And he comes out there and he's like, look up. You can save her or you can fight me. It's your choice, not Poison Ivy's. He and we already know that Clark is fighting this. Poison Ivy is able to control people through these pheromones and all that shit, but for Superman, only so much. But at the top of the Daily Planet, Catwoman's got Lois Lane, who through Lois Lane's trying to get away, her struggle drops her. Superman races to go and save her in a very epic, heroic shot. And then you got a nice moment with Lois and Selina, where Lois goes, so, you and he are working together now? Selina goes, what, you trying to write a book or something? She goes, or something. Superman goes, Lois could have been killed. Batman's like, I knew you would save her. And if you didn't, I knew Selina could get her. It's all good. I just knew I needed to get you out of this. He's like, you know what? Let's go take care of it. So then they go and find Poison Ivy, who's hiding out, ass out, in her hideaway. Superman shows up. Batman shows up. She tries to get away. Krypto's there to stop her. And that's something I love about Jeff Loeb's run of Superman, is the importance of Krypto. Even with an ass out in a secret hideout, Krypto's there to stop her. And when she turns around to go another way, Selina is too. And then Superman goes, Catwoman, was that really necessary? She looks at Bruce. Bruce looks at her. And they both go, yes. Which is great. Then we got Superman and Batman talking. That's the moment where he's like, Superman says Lois could have gotten killed. Batman says, no, I believe in you. And I love this next page. Superman goes, all the good work, including the JLA. How long has it been? Batman goes, why? And I love this top panel in the right. Superman goes, always the detective. Batman says, ever the Boy Scout. Thank you. Now more than ever, I know I gave the ring to the right person. What are friends for? Says Bruce. And there is Hush looking the whole time, and we get promised that Harley Quinn will join the next issue. So that is Batman issue 6/112. What I remember being my favorite issue of Batman Hush, and on this reread, which I'm loving Batman Hush more than I recollected over the last 20-something years, I loved it. Jim Lee's artwork is solid. The character work is there. The coloring is good, too. Who is the colorist? I want to say it's Alex Sinclair, but I could be wrong. Nope, it's Alex Sinclair. I love the coloring here. There's lots of great usage of the red and the green, but also the red and the blue. The blue really works. Every color, or every page, I should say, has its color identity. And the line work from Jim Lee and the Scott Williams inking is good, and it's solid. And this might be, this along with All-Star Batman and Robin, might be some of the last like really good, solid Jim Lee artwork. And I've asked this before. I'm going to ask this again to you. What is Jim Lee's peak? What is the peak of Jim Lee's artwork? To me, I still feel like it's X-Men 1 through 5 or 1 through 6. Like, that was really good stuff. 93, something like that. Those first few issues, in particular 1 through 3, so solid. But his Wildcats work has some good stuff there too. This Hush run has some really great moments. And you know, it's sad to be reading Hush 2 nowadays and feeling it falter. And for a book that I really was giving too much shit, I think. But I guess I give it shit because people say that Batman Hush is the best place to start reading Batman, to really read Batman. And you know what? I get it. It's got all the villains. It's even got the Batman-Superman fight. And it's a really good one. In fact, I mean, the one in Dark Knight Returns might still be my favorite. But this might be my second favorite. Me and my Hammer Time Holshoe did a top 5 Batman versus Superman fights back in the early days of PCP. So I'm curious as to see where this landed on that list. We kind of came up with that list all together. But all in all, I'm loving this revisit of Batman Hush. And issue 612, there's the foil facsimile version with my thumbprint on it right there. But I love how they even have the ads in here. We got an EverQuest Online ad. We got, what else? Starburst ad. Really solid artwork. Decent layouts. That's an ad for PlayStation. Dark Cloud 2. Never played that. Never had a PlayStation, actually. First PlayStation I ever had was a 3. Jim Lee's doing interesting things with the layouts, but like panel design, page composition was never, I think, his best suit. There's a Juicy Fruit ad. When's the last time y'all saw a Juicy Fruit ad at all? They still make Juicy Fruit? They better. That's a great gum. This is an ad for War of the Monsters on PS2. A lot of video game ads. This is a video game ad for Vex. But these facsimiles, I love how they... And DC does a great job, because with the DC facsimiles, if it's on newsprint, they'll print it on newsprint to honor the original colors. But this was done on glossier paper, so they reprint it on glossier paper. An ad for JSA The Unholy 3 by Dan Jolly and Tony Harris and Ray Snyder. That's a great book. So is The Liberty Legion. Good, solid stuff. There's an anti-weed ad back there. I love these anti-weed ads from back in the day. And yeah, what is that? That Tony Hawk? Nope, it's not Tony Hawk. This is some other skateboarder. Original advertisement production. And even those are in foil. So all in all, I really like Batman 612. I think it's solid. Jeff Loeb was doing the hell of a job. He was doing a hell of a job, I should say, on Superman at the time. He had been doing great work on Batman, along with Tim Sale. Jim Lee still doing really solid stuff artistically. And Batman vs. Superman by Jim Lee. Who doesn't want this in their life? And what a great moment. On the reread, it does come across it's a very quick read. It's a very quick fight. But everything is purposeful. And I love that moment. Essentially, deep down inside, Clark is a good guy, and I am not. So, Batman 612, best issue of Hush yet. I'm going to give it an enthusiastic 4.5. Ya digs. What do you recollect about Batman 612? What do you recollect about Batman Hush? And we're going to continue on our journey of Batman Hush in DC and the Oddies very soon. We'll catch you next time here on DC in the Oddies. All right, there you go. Super solid book to revisit. I'm glad I snatched up all of these because I'm actually enjoying Hush way more than I thought I would. Juicy Fruit's gonna move on you. I always wanted to see Morrison and Lee's Wildcats play out. You know, we had a really great run, though, with Travis Sherry and James Robinson and Alan Moore. Wildcats is better than people remember. Thank you, Two Gun Pedro. Meyer says plot armor issue. KO says caught stealing was good, but violent? Fuck yeah, sounds like my kind of movie. Are you going to review the new criminal book, The Knives? Yeah, I'll check it out when it comes out, but I don't know if I'll be able to review it on the weekly comic book review. When it comes to graphic novels, I don't usually have the time to get them through. I still got Xanadax to read, and I want to do a review on that too. But yes, I will do a review on the new criminal. If you ask me, I'll usually do it. What's up, Southside Ronin? How you doing? Choco says, I read Hush when Hush 2 came out. This issue is my favorite issue too. Hush 2 is... Okay, I agree. CNSS 84 says, Hush, the original was such a great roller coaster ride when it came out. The ending equally blew me away. Still one of my favorite books to this day. Link says, Hush 1 ain't that much better, Chocos. I still stand by Hush being a rehash of Long Halloween. A year-long mystery with Batman's whole rogues gallery popping up. Yeah, Dark Victory was a rehash too, but Dark Victory and Long Halloween are great, brilliant, which I think separates them, elevates them from Batman Hush. I was a little bit more into that mystery in Batman Long Halloween and Dark Victory. In fact, because of the structure of Long Halloween and Dark Victory, I knew who was the real villain behind Batman Hush. Hush, of course, is Tommy Elliott, but the real power behind this story is Edward Nygma. And I know from the structure of Long Halloween and Dark Victory how Jeff Loeb likes to take the true villain off the board early and show them as being insignificant. That is something he does with the major reveals of Batman Long Halloween and Dark Victory. He does it with Hush because Tommy Elliott is not the big reveal of Hush. It's actually the Riddler. We'll get to that. And I figured that out very quickly. But I also wonder if part of the deal is the difference between Jim Lee and Tim Sale's artwork. The difference being this: Jim Lee is a great superhero, bombastic, explosive artist. Tim Sale is not that, but Tim Sale is, grounded's the wrong word, but he is noirish. He is substantial. He is weighty. He is moody. And that moody is not something we would say, or at least I would say, and I think most of us would say about Jim Lee's artwork. So I think the mood that Tim Sale provides in Long Halloween and Dark Victory, and hell, even Catwoman When in Rome, adds something to the book that Jim Lee's pencils, his bombastic, explosive, kinetic pencils, just couldn't quite convey. Yeah, his Deathblow art's pretty fucking sick. It's when he's doing his best Frank Miller, right? Early aughts, baby. Yeah, nobody likes to pay for ads in comics because hardly anybody reads them. More people read comics, more ad revenue would be there. When you see ads in comics, that's a good thing. Southside Rona says, Batman Black Mirror doesn't get enough love, in my opinion. We were giving it a lot of love earlier. You should check out the replay. Link says, to Hush's credit, though, it brought Jason Todd back, sorta. Got the ball rolling. That's one of the things I fucking hate about Batman Hush. When I was reading it initially, I was loving it all through this. It was when they were doing all their Jason Todd shit. Anyway. Link says, I also enjoy Tim Sale way more than Jim Lee. And I agree with that, but it's two different things. I wouldn't want Tim Sale to be drawing Wildcats. I wouldn't want Tim Sale to be drawing Wolverine or X-Men #1 by Chris Claremont, right? I wouldn't want that. I also wouldn't want Jim Lee to draw the Long Halloween. But we're about to get into the Harley Quinn and the Joker stuff. We're going to continue on through Hush nonstop on Rockin Robbie Lives. We're not here next week. We probably won't be back the next week because of the New York trip. But when we come back, we're going to continue on from that point, going through Batman Hush till it's completed. Then we are, in fact, going to go back to Marvel in the 90s. We're going to be talking about some very under-discussed Spider-Man comics. So, y'all just wait. Tim Sale did that Wolverine and Gambit mini with Loeb. They did. It wasn't that great. But their better work at Marvel was Daredevil Yellow, in particular, Spider-Man Blue, Hulk Gray. Captain America White was all right. Took too long to come to fruition. But Daredevil Yellow's great. But Spider-Man Blue, I think, might be one of their best works together. So good. It is their best Marvel work, in my opinion. And we should definitely cover that soon. Fuck, we should really bring Comics Revisited back. Maybe monthly. I think we could do that. Give everybody a month to read a story or a run and then talk about it. Who wants Comics Revisited to come back? Link says gray and yellow are my jams. What do you think, Steph, about blue? Spider-Man Blue is fucking amazing, man. I love yellow and I love gray, but I think blue's even better. I think blue's the best one they did at Marvel. I really do. Best one they did at DC is Long Halloween, for sure. Blue was solid, white was meh. Yeah, white was something they wanted to do, and then it took too long for it to actually develop and actually happen. I digress. All right. Breaking Bad. Where am I at on Breaking Bad? I'm done. I finished Breaking Bad. I finished it. I finished Breaking Bad yesterday. So, I don't remember where I was last week, but I was basically this week, I was in season 5. I was in the final season. And at one point on Friday night, I thought I was about to complete it because I told my girlfriend, I was like, I got to go home. I got 3 episodes left of Breaking Bad and I got to get them in. And I went home and I watched it, and then I realized there were 3 more episodes because all the seasons of Breaking Bad were 13 episodes except for the final season, which was 16. So I actually had that many. So then last night I had 2 more. So I went to see K-Pop Demon Hunters. I dropped her off. I came back home. I watched the last 2 episodes of Breaking Bad, and I loved them. I love Breaking Bad. Thank you so much. For those of you who, a month or 2 ago, started sending me super chats to watch an episode of Breaking Bad at a time until it finally hooked me, and I told you, no more super chats, I'm hooked into Breaking Bad. I fucking loved it. Season 5 was great. Season 5 was awesome. Because the way Season 4 ended, I was like, this is the ending of the show. What are we doing for another season? Oh my God. The whole Walt trying his own thing, having Mike involved, Jesse involved, the way that falls apart, bringing in the fucking dipshit neo-Nazis. Oh my God. And how everything just builds to the conclusion of the show. And I'm not trying to give too many spoilers, but though it's an old show, y'all. But nobody spoiled it for me. But the ending is perfect. I said from the beginning, the only way this show can end is with this scene. This moment. They delivered it. It was great. It was a great setup for other things to come. But Breaking Bad was an amazing show. I loved it. It's definitely in my top 25 shows. I haven't really thought too hard about my top favorite shows in a long time. I don't watch a lot of television shows, to be honest with you. But man, this Breaking Bad was good. And all I ever heard was it was good. But holy shit, it was good. And that last season really pulled me in. So emotional. Everything that is potentially set up gets paid off by the end. Every single fucking thing. Little plot threads. Like the little capsule of fucking poison that you think are just whatever, they're done. They all come to fruition at the end. It all comes full circle. The performances are amazing. Aaron Paul as Jesse, holy shit. Why is this dude not in more shit? Bryan Cranston, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. And at times I got really annoyed with the character of Skyler. But all in all, I really like how that all turns out, right? I really like her performance, her delivery. The son, really solid. It's so sad. It's so tragic. It's so badass. It's so entertaining. Breaking Bad is something, right? Breaking Bad was capturing that energy of that pre-iPhone era HBO we were talking about. Oz, Sopranos, Westworld, Deadwood, Entourage, 6 Feet Under, Rome, Carnival. That era of golden age television in HBO. Breaking Bad captures that. I wonder, does Madman, was AMC like a post golden age HBO? Was it like a post golden age HBO golden age for not so premium cable? Is Madman as good? Is it good? I've never watched that one either. But Breaking Bad is fucking amazing. And I loved it. I loved the ending. I thought the ending was perfect. And there were times where I was like, how is this not like the last episode? It could end here and I'd be satisfied. But they had plot threads that they had set up that I had even forgotten about, that they needed to fulfill. And damn if they fulfilled them. All in all, I would give Breaking Bad 4.5 and a very enthusiastic 4.5. The overall, such a great show. Such a great show that even though it was like 10:30 at night when I watched the last episode of Breaking Bad last night, as soon as it was over, I went and watched El Camino. That's right, the movie that follows up. It's Jesse's story about what happens afterwards, and I loved it. As a movie, I would give that one a good solid, like, if you have watched Breaking Bad, it's a 4.5. If you haven't watched Breaking Bad, it's like a 2.5, 3. But why would you watch El Camino without having watched Breaking Bad? That being said, I loved El Camino. I thought it was great. It was so awesome. I didn't necessarily feel like the audience needed to know what happens to Jesse after the end of Breaking Bad, the finale. But it was really nice that they did it. And it was really nice that they did it this way, to give us a solid 2-hour movie of his journey, and also at the same time filling in some gaps that we didn't necessarily need filled for Breaking Bad, but regardless, they filled them as is. And it was awesome. And I loved it. And then, even though it was almost 1 a.m, I watched the first episode of Better Call Saul. I watched the first episode of Better Call Saul, and I'm honestly about to fall asleep. And I'm like, man, the show really needs to pull me in. I want to get through this episode. And I'm fighting it. I'm struggling to get through that first episode because it's so late. I'm so tired. I've been watching shit all night. But I just want to watch the first episode of Better Call Saul. And then we get to the end where Tuco shows up. And I got, fuck. So then it's like 6 o'clock. My time, my show, Rockin Robbie Live, starts at 7. It's 6 o'clock. I finally got through a bunch of stuff I had to do, household-wise and prep-wise for this show. And I was like, you know what? I got an hour. I can watch the next episode of Better Call Saul. And I only made it halfway through it because my girl called and had to talk to me about some stuff. But I did make it through the whole thing with how he convinces Tuco to just break these fucking asshats' legs instead of killing them out in the desert. Y'all, I know I'm going to love Better Call Saul. I want to know about Mad Men. I also hear good things about Ozark. I want more recommendations for shows. But right now, bear with me because for the next bit, I'm stuck on Better Call Saul because I'm completing this. So all of you out there who ever told me that Breaking Bad was awesome, all of you who donated money to finally encourage me to watch it, y'all are the goats. Thank you so much. Breaking Bad was such a great show. So amazingly done. It has moments where it drags for me, honestly. But aside from that, overall, what a vision, what a plan. And I don't know if this was all planned out from the very beginning or if they just kind of problem solved as they went. But all in all, it all works out so perfectly. Not for our characters, but for the story, for the audience. I loved it. 4.5 for that. I would give a very solid 4 to El Camino. And Better Call Saul, episode 1, I would give a 3. But so far, where I'm at on episode 2, I'm leaning towards a 4. But I still got to finish the rest of that, and we're about to go do that. So there you go. Ozark is Netflix's Breaking Bad. Eric says Ozark next. Ozark is all right. No Breaking Bad or Sopranos, though, says Anthony. It's hard to start BCS right after you finish Breaking Bad. What's BCS? Better Call Saul. Okay. Hey, what's up, Sebastian? Are you the artist of Johnny Quest? Is that you? Are you that Sebastian Perez? If so, great job. Great job. And yet, but as soon as Tuco shows up, okay, I was like, fuck, it's like 2 a.m. I gotta go to sleep. I was like, hey, I want to stay up and watch more. What's up, 00711? Stop by to say that you are the man, Robbie, and that Sticky Goose sucks. Well, don't be too harsh on him. Oh, fuck. Link, how could I forget? Hank. Hank wound up being one of my favorite characters. Not favorite. I mean, honestly, yeah. Like, I don't know the name of the dude who plays Hank Schrader in the show. I fucking loved Schrader by the end of the show. That actor kills that fucking role. Kills it. God damn, there were so many character deaths in the last few episodes of Breaking Bad that broke my fucking heart. Broke my heart, man. Holy shit, it was so good. Sebastian says the writers had to hate Skylar because at moments they make her so annoying. Yeah, they kind of do. Anthony says Hank is one of my favorite characters. 9-Panel Grid says now it's El Camino time. You think there's nothing left to say in the Breaking Bad universe, but there is. Same thing with Saul. Already ahead of you, Eric. Already ahead of you. And I did really like El Camino. One of my favorite bits was Skinny and fuck, I can't remember the other dude's name. Badger? Is it Badger? Skinny and Badger, like that whole interaction with the El Camino with them and their in Skinny's house, and Skinny when he's all like, "You're my hero, man." Like I fucking loved that. Though when Todd comes back, he put on a little bit of weight. It was a little that kind of took me out a little bit. Oh, that is you, Sebastian. You do a great job. Hell yeah, man. You should come on the show sometimes, man. We had Joe on a bunch, man. Joe's a homie. If you ever want to get on, talk about your next books or whatever, man, go for it. Mike is my favorite. Honestly, Mike, Saul, and Gus are my favorite characters throughout Breaking Bad. So now that's why I'm so excited for Better Call Saul, because I know, obviously, that Saul's a big part of it, but I also know that Mike and Gus are a part of it as well. And seeing the two go, like, the way that it's almost like you see the origin of how, I don't remember his actual name, but how he becomes Saul. Like when he convinces Tuco to make the punishment fit the crime and just to break their legs and not to... Both are like, I'm going to give him a Colombian necktie. Well, hold on, man. So yeah, I'm really excited. And my buddy Hammer Time was always telling me about Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. And he says it gets better and better. Yeah, Skinny Pete and Badger. Who would have thought they'd become the moral compass, man? No shit. Fuck yeah. All right. It's time for show and tell. For show and tell, first thing we're going to do is talk about some McDonald's toys. So McDonald's just had this whole Happy Meal program where they were giving out little, like, McDonald Land toys. So little McDonald toys, I guess I should say. And I wanted all of them. I don't have all of them. I'm missing 4. I'm missing the Boo Bucket, which is the one I wanted. I'm missing the tray with the Happy Meal and the apple slices. I'm missing the burger grill. And there's one more I'm missing, and I don't quite remember it. But let me show you what we have. This is the first one that I personally got. It's a McDonald's tray with some McDonald's fries on it. This may sound stupid to y'all, but I really love these things. My homie Scott, who I'm doing the Paranormal show with, gave me this one because he had extras. That's the Play Place with the slide and all that shit. My mom worked at McDonald's when I was like 5 or 6, so McDonald's is a big deal to me. Anything that references just the characters of McDonald Land, which they're doing an adult Happy Meal right now. We'll get to that at hopefully another point. Anyway, here's another one I got for myself. The tray with the Happy Meal and the burger. Pretty freaking cool. Here's another one I got for myself. I got this the night after we watched Monday Night Raw in Birmingham. The Happy Meal with the milk. Because why not? A bunch of these were gifted to me by Mike, the Voice Matthews, who was collecting these up for me. There's the drive-thru, the McDonald's drive-thru. And once again, I love this shit. This is another one I got for myself. It's the tray with the chicken McNuggets. It's another one given to me by Mike. That is the toy display. You can open it up and change out the toys that are in there. It's pretty dope. Another one gifted to me by Mike is the McDonald's sign. And in one of these things, I got stickers you can put on here to make your own saying on there, I guess. This is the booth, the McDonald's booth. This was one of the ones I really, really wanted. Mike hooked me up with that. Mike hooked me up with this one. This is the self-order kiosk. It's ridiculous. They had so many of these damn things. Here is the fry grill, or the fryer, where you make the fries, and you can pop them down in there. That's super cool. There's a burger grill that goes with this. The drink machine is the other one I don't have. Here is the register. It's the checkout register. So cool. So random. So silly. There is a Happy Meal. Here is the golden Happy Meal. 2 versions. This is the lamest one. It's a phone with the app on it. This is pretty dumb, to be honest with you. But I got it, so that's cool. I want them all. Then we have the McDonald's truck, delivery truck. And these are some of the stickers and other things that will go along with some of these bits. And then the best piece, which is actually a little McDonald's. And you can actually look inside there, and there's a lot of detail in this little McDonald's that I really like. So there you go. So that's all of them but 4. I'm missing the Boo Bucket. I am missing the drink machine. I am missing the burger grill. And I'm missing the tray with the Happy Meal with the apple slices. So Mike, thank you so much. Scott, thank you so much. And me, thank you so much. I only grabbed like 4 of these. I can't eat that much McDonald's. But I'm missing those 4. I'll eventually find them online, or if you out there know where some lie, let me know. All right. I also told you that Francisco Francavilla was going to be a part of tonight's show and tell. So I met Francisco Francavilla at Heroes Con in 2019. Francesco is one of my favorite artists. I love his work. And y'all know one of my favorite directors is Dario Argento. So I wanted to buy a print from Francavilla, and I wanted to have him sign it. And I found this print, which he did for a film festival in Italy, where they were talking about Argento. And even though I bought this in 2019, it's an odd size. I never framed it. I never found a frame for it because I always buy 11 by 17 frames. And this, in fact, was a 13 by 19 print. But I finally said, fuck it. And I bought a frame for it. And this is going to go up in the living room. But there it is. My Dario Argento by Francisco Francavilla. And there's where he signed it. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it too well. He signed it right there. His name and 19. But that's going up in the living room. But before I framed it just this week. And before it goes up in the living room, I wanted to show it off to you guys. And if you know me, you know I like to own every movie that I cover for HorrorFest. And there were 3 movies that I didn't have on Blu-ray that we're covering for HorrorFest, including the Child's Play shitty-ass remake. It was on Amazon. It was super cheap, and I bought it because I needed it. I love the Chucky franchise. We're doing the Chucky franchise, and I needed this shitty-ass remake. Then I didn't have this on Blu-ray, but it's Blair Witch Project. I got it on VHS, which is probably the proper way to watch it. But I decided to get it on Blu-ray anyway. And we did a poll for Mike. And Mike picked a bunch of random movies. Some of them he hadn't seen. The winner of the poll was a movie called Shiver of the Vampires, an erotic French vampire film. So I went ahead and there was a great deal going on. And I picked this up in a special edition Blu-ray. A World of Sex and Violence. This one really sold me, y'all. So I haven't seen it, but I own it. So I picked up those 3 movies. So make sure I have all of the HorrorFest movies. So there you go. Yeah, that is cool. Yeah, with the Siggy. I'm just thinking about how many carcinogenic calories you consume to get some pretty plastic. Like I said, I only got 4 Happy Meals. Most of these were given to me by other people. Even then, though, I'm not going to shy away, man. I like McDonald's. It's no Taco Bell. It's no Del Taco. But it'll do, donkey. It'll do. More of y'all talking about shit. All right, y'all. We're about to dip out. Watching Blair Witch on VHS. 2-gun is probably the way to do it. I may actually watch it on VHS and then just use the Blu-ray to listen to the special features, like the commentary and shit. Because there is a commentary on here, I believe. Yeah, there's a commentary. So I think I'll watch it on VHS and then watch the commentary on Blu-ray. But that's really why I bought it. Francavilla has done so many works for Archie. I have a best of Francavilla's Archie comics work. So good. I have to show that off sometime. Anyway, we're dipping out. That's Rockin Robbie Live. Thank you all so much for being a part of the show. Thank you so much for being a part of the journey. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. Y'all are the best community out there. Don't let anybody talk shit about you. But if they talk shit about me, just let it ride. Because you know, they can't see us. Fuck them all. Anyway, we love you guys. Have a good one. Stay heal. Stay real. Station. Pop, pop, boom. Keep on reading. Keep on loving. Keep on living. And thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life. I never miss, that's fact. Taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat. Put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag. Cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on the shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread with every word that I said. How's it supposed to feel?
Come on, y'all ready? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? Post-credit, bitches. What's up, everybody? All right. Masters of the Universe. You know I love it. Masters of the Universe Origins. You know I get them if they are replicating a vintage figure in my collection I don't have currently. But you also know about Sunman. Rulers of the Sun. So Sunman was a toy line in the 80s. Kind of modeled a little bit. Oh, shit. You can open up these little Happy Meals, and this has got a little. Oh, look at that! It's got a little cool little like gold fucking thing. That's really cool. I didn't know it did that. I really didn't. That's cool as shit. That's dope. This one open up. It's another little thing in here, and this one's not gold. I think they might be stickers. I think they are stickers. Decorate whatever you want. All right, that's really cool. All right, but Sunman was developed by a woman of color, who had a child who didn't see himself represented in his beloved Masters of the Universe toys. So she created a whole line of toys, a whole lore, characters that were mostly people of color. And now it's time to open up a figure. And Motu Origins, Mattel decided to re-release these figures in the Motu Origins kind of wave. And we've been opening them up, and I have most of them already. But this is one gifted to me by Mike the Voice Matthews. This is Duplico, or Duplico. This is like the one white dude of Sunman. And he's a good guy. Heroic Duplicator. So we're going to open this up. I've had them for a while. I've been slowly opening up all my Sunman figures. We're near the end, so let's finish it up. We got the comic in there. Eventually I'll find them all and read them. Let's open up this figure. That's nothing. Take him out. He's got one gun, which is his duplicator ray. And I guess his action feature is that his power saw fits in his hand and onto his belt. Now it is tied in with a string. How does it fucking tie in? How's it? It just hangs there? Oh, it's literally just you roll it up. That's crazy. You need a string. It just doesn't attach. So it's like that or something. Well, that's kind of whack, to be honest with you. It's literally just a piece of string and you tie it up, but whatever. I'm just happy to fucking open this figure finally. This is the last single-carded figure that I have. So maybe next time, if we're all good enough, we'll open up the triple pack that will finish off my Sunman collection, and we'll do a massive show and tell for all of them. But there is Duplico with his, what do they call this? Power saw. Cool figure. Glad to add him to the rest. Y'all, you know we love you. We're dipping out. For real. Y'all are the best. Station, pop, pop, boom. And if you ain't down with PCPX, I got 2 words for you. Eat a rank bag of haggis sent from Scotland all the way to Australia in the blazing heat, sitting out there on the doorstep for hours, if not days, and then somebody eats it, shits it out, and then takes that shit and smears it all over a steamy bathroom at a park that you got to go to because you're pinching one and you really got to fucking go, and you sit in this steamy ass fucking bathroom to put out the rankiest shit of your life, and then all that other shit is smeared on the side. Seems oddly specific. Thanks for watching.